landlubbers. It's me, your Captain Vasco speaking. Hi, hello, welcome. So just joined folks live on camera a moment ago and prompted everyone to immediately let me know if anything is broken. So I've mentioned in the past that the computer I'm currently streaming off of is deemed not Windows 11 compatible. I'm too stupid to know what that means. I don't know what that means. But um, there's a mystery that perhaps you can help me solve, which is so the issue with Windows 10 is that they're no longer releasing security updates, which I interpret to mean that Windows should no longer be like force shutting my computer down
Jason!
and like requiring, me to download crap and whatever. However, it's twice since support for Windows 10 allegedly ended, this has happened. And one of them was like 2 days ago. And when this happened, like everything that I was signed into on this computer, like every single thing except for StreamerBot of all things, logged out and I don't understand. So like everything shut down. I don't know what would have been installed, but like I can't tell you how like ungood it was trying to get set up for the stream tonight. Where it was like, okay, and this thing that is in a perpetual state of logged in is fine. No, it's not. It's also been manually logged out without my consent. Okay, weird. Well, surely this one that I haven't had to log into to like 7 years. Nope. Okay. I've only ever once logged into Blue Sky, I think, to be able to make posts about that because Twitter is so bad it's not usable anymore. So surely that wouldn't have been. Nope, that one too. Okay. So yeah, like literally the only thing that normally requires any amount of login that did not need to be manually logged into is StreamerBot, which up until Halloween of this year I had used once, and I've since I only have it on for streams, I think I've used it a total of like 6 times. I did see you come in there, Sneaky Zacula. Hello. Windows 10 is such a pile of stinking hog turd too. Hate that they're killing support for 10. Agreed. I mean, I don't know. I feel like the last time I had positive associations with Windows was like Windows 95. Since then, there have been varying degrees of fine. Both 10 and 11 have seemed like fine-ish to me. They have like the normal expected levels of like operating system issues. That's not to say that they're good. It's just that the problems that they have are like within the expected parameters of how annoying they are. So like they could be worse, and they tend in many situations not to be obtrusive. That doesn't mean that happens all the time. Oh, good. Windows 11 is rapidly incorporating AI, like more than just every browser has to have AI on by default. Oh, what was it? I saw a really good post on like Reddit this week, maybe just like today even. I don't understand how time works. And like someone did a Google search trying to ask for some basic thing, like how to find like a local restaurant or something, like some like super basic question. I forget exactly what it was. And like the automatically AI generated response was like, well, if you wanted to have an answer to this, you could try like entering this question into Google. And it's like, that's how we got here. that's how we got here. That's not helpful information if this is the response that you get. Apparently you can't do quote searching. Hang on, wait, is this a thing? We've reached some level of like incorporating AI, and like people who insist that AI is important resisting the people who resist AI, that like if you put quotes around something it just doesn't work. AI breaks on quotes. Boy, that sure seems like At best, a design flaw. At worst, like malicious design intent. That's really bad. I don't know what the recall feature is. Mystery said she was at a bar earlier and said, seriously debating fading illness. The friend that invited me is arriving late by 9:30. Oh man. Hey, what's like the worst someone showed up late you've ever had? Like I'm sure it's happened to most of us. Probably not everyone, but I imagine like most people have had like at least one incident where like someone was like notably late. I once asked a girl out and like we'd set all the plans, set a specific time. I think it was even like a work night, which I really hate doing, but like made sure everything worked, got there like early, and then like she hadn't left her house by the time we were scheduled to meet up, but she was texting me, and I think she left something like 20 minutes late. But then there was also like allegedly really bad traffic. I say allegedly not because I specifically don't believe her, but because all I can go on are like a continued stream of texts that were happening periodically while she was driving. Ultimately, she arrived at the date like an hour late, and then was like, uh, it was really, I felt really stupid because like it was like a relatively nice restaurant, and like there was like a guy out front like selling flowers, and I just like had a single flower that like, oh, if someone's gonna sell flowers, I'll buy a flower for my date. And then I'm just like some a-hole like sitting around with a single flower, like waiting for like a girl to show up. And then when she got there, like it genuinely wasn't the worst date I've ever had, but it was like a pretty mediocre date. And then she like turned on me like really hard at the end, because like I had forgotten like a minor detail, and like considering that like I had been super chill about the whole situation, I thought it was like really crappy of her to just like get real hostile about that and then like basically ghost me. um Zago says I quit my last job because I was working overnight, was supposed to get off at 7 a.m. 8 a.m. Still no one had showed up to take over. Tried to contact the person and my bosses over the course of the next hour and a half. No one was answering their phone. By 10 a.m., got fed up and left. That's honestly like that's super fair, I think. I mean, if the bosses aren't taking responsibility either, that's a real problem. Like if someone like just like showed up a little late and you ghosted the job entirely, that would be a little harsh. But like those circumstances seem very fair, I think. It is interesting to wonder how long it might have taken them. That's adorable and terrible. Listen, I try my best, okay? Like I am like perpetually single. And I really don't I've come to really think I'm not the problem. Like is there stuff I could improve about my life? Sure. Am I ostensibly like not the most like approachable or classically attractive person? Yeah. But like I make an effort. Like I really put it in, and it always turns out this way for me, man. They no way I'm waiting. Well, see, I mean, I respect the self-respect. I'm not entirely sure that I have any of that. That might be a problem. But also just like I might just be a little more desperate. I don't know, man. This karaoke is painful. That statement is always redundant. Interesting, interesting. Karaoke is interesting as a concept. I think karaoke is a. I'm not like a huge karaoke fan, but I've had occasion to do it multiple times, and it's like usually a pretty good time. As someone who doesn't drink, I probably enjoy it less than people who just like totally like release self inhibitions and like go ham on their favorite song or whatever. Um, but like public karaoke is rough, and I have done public karaoke too. There's this place that some friends and I used to go in, like, I think it was technically Chinatown in like Los Angeles, and like it was such like a dive. You'd have to like go through, you'd have to like park in a weird place and then like go down this like alley in like a weird part of town that like wasn't on a main like walkway or drive, and then you'd like hang a right by a dumpster, and then you'd like walk into what looked like someone's like unfinished loft or garage or something, and then there was just like a bunch of like benches and like coolers and stuff set up, and they had a big like projector screen set up. And it was interesting because the projector itself wasn't for the lyrics. They had a separate system that I think was like laptop based for that, but the projector was to do, you know, like classic sort of karaoke videos that like you see them sometimes pictured in like movies and TV shows where like you have the lyrics like superimposed over some just like generic like B-roll video of like nothing, just like clouds and like people having a picnic or whatever. And I credit, if you could say such a thing, this place, which was known as Secret Karaoke, with my morbid fascination with all things Sid and Marty Krofft, because like the first time I went there, they were just playing silently in the background of a karaoke club, just like a wall-sized projection of the TV show Lidsville. And so like I am like sitting there like struggling with my social anxiety, just trying to figure out what on earth it is I'm watching with absolutely no context. And eventually it ended up starting a years-long tradition of that was called Going in the Hat, which is a shorthand for watching the entirety of a Sid and Marty Krofft TV show start to finish in a single sitting. What is Lidsville? Oh, Zacula. What is Lidsville? Lidsville, first, in case you're not familiar with who Sid and Marty Krofft are, Sid and Marty Krofft were some creative folk who were at the peak of their influence in, I couldn't tell you exactly what year, but like probably like the late 60s into the early 70s. They made a bunch of shows, but they all sort of ran for like 1 to 2 seasons. They did stuff like HR Puffin stuff, the Banana Splits, Lidsville, like a handful of like, I feel like those are like the most recognizable names, but they did a bunch of them. And the sort of signature is like really low quality, like mascot style costumes, like psychedelic drug trip kind of overtones to these like fantasy worlds made on like a cheap TV budget, and they're all like kid aimed programming. And so Lidsville in particular, the story of Lidsville, you can look up the intro sequence to Lidsville on YouTube, and it's honest to God just a summary of the premise of the show, because that's what TV theme songs were like back in the day. But the premise is basically that a kid named Mark goes to Six Flags and sees a magic show and is so enthralled by it that he sneaks backstage to get a look at the magician's props and accidentally falls inside the magician's top hat. And inside the top hat is a magical world filled with sentient hats. And the series is just a series of hijinks of like Mark trying to find ways to get out of the hat, and the evil magician Hoodoo trying to stop him, and like I think he's trying to kidnap the genie. Look, the plots don't make like a lot of sense, but like I want you to understand that like that's the thing that's playing in the background, and I'm trying to like comprehend it. I have no dialogue, just people in insane costumes, and it's like it's like literally just like watching your sanity evaporate. And like I just became so like enthralled by it that we ended up doing a weird thing where we watched the whole show in one sitting. And let me tell you, you don't feel more sane after doing that. Back up a little. Chat's been active, which is great. Feel like you told the story in an RC video once. Almost definitely talked about this whole situation, the secret karaoke and the Lidsville and all that. Definitely talked about Lidsville in the past for sure. And yeah, alcohol definitely helps with social situations like karaoke and whatever, but like, sucks to be me because I'm not like that. Mystery said, I pitched a Sid and Marty Krofft exhibit once at the same company that did the Star Trek show. That's fast. Have you also seen a Sid and Marty Krofft show? Very few people my age have, especially ones who haven't been coerced directly or indirectly by me. Kind of a similar premise to Chalk Zone. I remember Chalk Zone, but not in great detail. Was he trapped in the Chalk Zone? I kind of thought he just had magical chalk or something. My idea of a date is literally fun activity together. Dude, Neko is speaking truth to power. The problem is that, like, I don't know. So, like, here's an example. I feel like a thing that would be fun to do on a date is, like, one of those, like, crappy... There's those places where you either, like, make a mug or they make a mug for you and you just sort of paint it. And, like, honestly, like, it's not something I want to do, like, normally, but, like, it feels like a fun thing to do on a date. And so, like, there's even, like, a place, like, a mile from my house that does this, I'm pretty sure. And I saw it, I'm like, maybe someday this will finally happen. But I don't meet anyone in Florida because I'm too busy dealing with the windows and stuff. Listen, that is the dream. It's, like, genuine, like, I'm so, like, I so want to do it. I don't know why. Like, genuinely, like, if you gave me, like, a voucher for just, like, do it by yourself, I'd be like, I have absolutely no interest in that. But, like, on a date, like, I feel like the creativity of it lets you sort of get your personality out. I feel like making mistakes and being able to laugh about them is sort of like a bonding thing. I don't know. It just seems like a really good date. Wasn't trapped in the chalk zone. I mean, excepting for that, there's definitely a similar... There's a lot of, like, magic and nonsense, and I don't know if Chalk Zone has sentient chalk or sentient hats even. Did you paint each other and remember the person with their pottery thing? Yeah. I don't know. I think it sounds like a good date. That's all I know. Mystery says, I didn't do a super deep dive on Sid and Marty Krofft, but was familiar enough to pitch a concept and had a line on an auction to acquire the relics. Oh, man. I found out, like, after, like, doing random nonsensical research on Sid and Marty Krofft properties that, like, they actually, for, like, a really short period of time, like 2 years or less, I think. It's been a while since I looked this up. But they had their own, like, theme park in an abandoned mall in, like, Atlanta, Georgia or something. I think it was Georgia. I don't remember if it was specifically Atlanta. I'm pretty sure it was in Georgia. And, like, it's like the whole park is basically lost media other than, like, at the time I looked it up, someone had, like, an audio recording of what it was like to be on one of the rides, which was, like, such a weird thing to even, like, consider existing. That's where the exhibit company was. Absolutely creepy abandoned spot. Oh wait, is the abandoned mall still there? Oh, I bet that's a really interesting place. I have no idea, like, what's happened to it since then. I think it was, like, a long time ago, but, like, I bet that'd be a really interesting place to go. I mean, it's so ripe for a creepypasta web series. Listen, I know that the whole Five Nights at Freddy's animatronic evil thing is, like, really overdone at this point. Like, really overdone. But at the same time, I can't help but think that there's, like, a Five Nights at Freddy's, like, someone, like, finds the remnants of, like, the Sid and Marty Krofft theme park. And, like, because everything in Sid and Marty Krofft's universe is, like, deeply upsetting to behold or consider or interact with, that, like, they're just like, oh, look at these artifacts of another time. And then, like, Witchy Poo, who is a real character from that show and also HR Puff and stuff, and, like, Hoodoo, and even just, like, the hats, just all the various hats. So many of the hats are concerning and upsetting. So we're done almost exclusively by the creator of Five Nights at Freddy's. I'm not sure I'd go quite so far as to say almost exclusively, but yeah, I would say that it's kind of like a saturation from specifically them. I mean, there was like a brief period of time where like other people were making weird, like straight to streaming service, low budget animatronic horror movie. I remember like someone did like a series reviewing a few movies you've never heard of along those lines. I know they started doing trailers for Five Nights at Freddy's 2, the movie. The first one I didn't think was great, but it also wasn't terrible. It was kind of subpar. Did you play enough of Control to see the creepy puppets? No. I really gotta finish Control someday. I don't think it's happening on stream though, is the sense I get. So I really don't know when that would happen. Dressed way too cool for this place. Someone sent a rescue copter. I mean, I have no doubt that you are dressed too cool for that place, Mystery. That's not even up for discussion, really. I do feel like we should, as a society, have more escape copters. I mean, Go Go Gadget had the right idea, Inspector Gadget. You know, just put it in your hat, and then like everything sort of pops out when you need to fly away. A lot of Five Nights at Freddy's clones, but there was a point where he was releasing up to 2 new games per year. Is that really true? How many are we up to? Does anyone know, or can anyone be bothered to look that up? Because like, I I sort of like the concept of Five Nights at Freddy's, but like the more I've learned about the lore, like the more like unhinged it is, and like not in a good way, in more like a Sid and Marty Krofft way. But like I mean, you know what I'm like playing video games, and like obviously something that's all about like being stressed for just an extended period of time. I'm sorry, the number is 28. There are 28, and to be clear, are you suggesting that there are 28, 11 main games, 7 spin-offs, 6 DLCs? Okay. So even if we discount the 6 DLCs and the 4 troll games, which I am happily willing to do, that number is still 18? Because I'm pretty sure the spin-offs count if they're still in the same like lore world. That's a nah for me, dog. That's too many. I mean, when did the first one come out? It's not that long ago. That's an abnormal number of video games and sequels and spin-offs. 2014. That's only a little older than I would have guessed. So that's basically like one mainline game per year, with some years having multiple. Yeah, nah. Yeah, nah. I'll say Five Nights at Freddy's lore is the most edgy 14-year-old boy on Wattpad nonsense I've ever seen. You know what? You're on point with that. From what I understand, Five Nights at Freddy's did the same thing that I hated with Zero Time Dilemma, which is this. Like, you know, it was originally, the games were built on this sort of mysterious lore of like what exactly happened to make the animatronics this way, and like blah blah blah, what happened to these kids who are depicted in like some of these like mysterious artworks and whatever. And it like made for an interesting mystery, but like there were some like really hardcore like YouTubers who like made it their whole personality to like put together all the pieces. And it seems like what happened is that they figured out what the like clever progression of all those ideas would be, and then the creator of the game got mad and then like changed what the payoff to the setup was, and it didn't really make sense anymore. And from what I understand, that may have happened like multiple times. And so like instead of building an interesting deep thought out world, eventually it just became this effort to like make sure people couldn't guess what was coming. And let me tell you, that is a really bad premise for an ongoing narrative story. On a much smaller scale, that appears to be what happened with Zero Time Dilemma, where Uchikoshi like found out that people sort of figured out the gist of what you should expect from the Zero Time Dilemma story, and then like changed it, and it's worse. The Game of Thrones TV adaptation method. I mean, like a little bit. Like a little bit, yeah. Definitely in the same realm. Who says, I've seen playthroughs of all the Five Nights at Freddy's games as I follow a lot of horror channels. I've really gotten into like channels that deconstruct horror games I will never play. I've been watching a lot of these lately. Like it's a thing I've taken interest in like since COVID, I guess, broadly speaking. But like this year in particular is really amped up, and I don't know why. Although I also just found this YouTube channel I really like that does like a little bit of that, but also just like plays like really niche adventure games that are borderline unplayable. He had like a 3-hour retrospective on like Laura Bow and the Dagger of Amun-Ra. And I just started watching a video about The Last Express, which is like a rotoscope game that takes place on a train that has like a bunch of like real-time passing mechanics that you can like goozle yourself with. Just got the official very delayed rejection from one of your last interviews. I'm sorry to hear that, Mystery, but I mean, this is very little consolation, so like don't take it as me trying to like mitigate how much that sucks, because it genuinely sucks for sure. But in some ways it's kind of good to at least know. Do you have any idea how many jobs I've applied for that just like never bothered to like respond to my application at all whatsoever? Though that also sucks, I guess, is really all I'm saying. It's lame, but it sounds like a good excuse to leave early, as if you needed one. But I'm with Cotillion. I did. I had a kind of similar experience recently, but I think I'll save that for tomorrow because it's already like 9:30. The one other thing I'll mention today, only because I'll probably forget to mention by tomorrow, and it's not even like that interesting, but I thought it'd be a fun anecdote to share with you. And I realized that I'm saying it's a fun thing, and I do immediately have to preface it with, so a couple of months ago, someone in a department that works really closely with mine at my workplace passed away. She had been having some health issues over not quite the last year, but it came on like relatively suddenly, and it was really unfortunate because she was a super cool person and everyone loved her. And so like we've been like my boss has been doing some like double duty to try and fill that role and didn't really tell us. We're not usually clued into like what their hiring process looks like these days. But so like a day or two ago, she just sent out an email to the department introducing everyone, just sort of saying like, oh, so like we have someone to like fill Deb's old position. Everyone say hi to Debbie. So the thing that I think is really funny is that it just kind of feels like, is it the movie Beer Fest that has that joke where like the one character like dies and then like the same actor shows up and he's basically like, yeah, my twin brother told me like everything you've been doing. So like I know all of your backstories and everything. You don't really have to tell me anything. Basically just act like he never died. In fact, if it's easier, you can just call me his same name. And like some horrible morbid part of me is just like, so we're doing Beer Fest here at work. But yeah, I don't know. It facilitated our like I think our like second teams meeting for the year. My boss like always like every time we do one, my boss is like, we should be doing these like at least once a month. We definitely have to be doing them more. And then she just won't do them again until someone gets like hired, fired, like dies, or there's like a company crisis of some kind. Like that's almost exclusively why the meetings get called. Although, I mean, every now and then there's like moderately important order of company business. Like last year when like Hurricane Milton hit, like some like procedural change happened. And I was like literally like in my recently moved to Florida equivalent of my childhood bedroom, set up at like a folding card table with my like laptop plugged in and a completely jury rigged nonsense because like my house didn't have power but my parents did because there's like some nuance to like how our utilities work. And so like I remember being like ridiculously self-conscious about like some old display cases with like favorite Beanie Babies and like other like weird accoutrement in the background that like if I was like having a video chat or a stream with y'all, I'd be like, who cares? Check out 95 Holiday Teddy. This guy rules. But like for work, I was like, I hope nobody ask. Nobody ask anything. Nobody ask anything about anything. Florida electrical grid has to be a nightmare. I mean, it's not great. They did a really good job of getting everything back online after that really big hurricane hit last year. But the problem is that like retroactively they've been like gouging us because of all the hard work they put in. Like there've been like multiple like emergency support charges like added to like the utility bills over the course of the year, and like in like the local like community app, like neighborhood app or whatever, like there's this like rabble rousing growing discontent about like the electrical provider. And Deco just recounted that she's ordered that Milotic she's been alluding to. I'm happy for her. I feel like she earned that. I'm really looking forward to Big Flareon. I'm impatient. I have no good solution on how to display it, but I want the Flareon here as soon as possible. On the one hand, that sucks. On the other hand, the upkeep of electrical grids may be the single most important expense in modern society. Yeah, I mean, it's not super clear cut. I'll give you that. I mean, the price gouging sucks. Also, like, there have been some things that intimate that, like, part of the expense increase may be that there's, like, a data center being added somewhere around here, which is just, like, always bad for communities. So, like, if that's true, that's also not great. That's how I felt working from home during COVID. I was in my apartment. My anime figures were just off screen, and glad my kids never saw it. Yeah, that's got to be tough, right? Like as a teacher, I feel like you have to have an especially firm line about like what parts of your like personal life your students get any access to. Like that does suck for just like suddenly converting your life to like telecommuting like COVID friendly. Um Maybe put the flare on your head like a big hat. We can see it, enjoy the big flare on. I mean, that sounds bad for my neck. Settled on the book corner, but book corner is a good one. You need a Tama figure. I can't specifically recall if I've ever seen such a thing, but I do feel like you need that, Sarah. That's true. Okay. Anything else that's left unresolved, or is it roughly time to start recapping and then playing Kathy Rain 2? Yeah, hopefully it's not too hard to at least look up if the Tama figure exists. Also, a lot of them are sexy anime girls, or at least the ones I thought were sexy. I mean, obviously, right? Respect. I mean, considering the way anime works, like, what, what do you think your anime girl figure collection would look like if you weren't going to buy ones that you thought were sexy? I genuinely don't mean this as a trap. It's just like, it's one of those like idealized types of media. They very rarely have someone who doesn't look like an idealized human being, right? So far, I'm just seeing lame standees. What's the distinction with a standee? The thing that comes to mind is like those cardboard cutouts of like celebrities they used to have at like FYE and Suncoast Video, but I don't think that's what we're talking about. Just get the One Piece figures, but of all the ugly characters, like Alvida before she gets the slip fruit, or like, granted, if you dig deep enough into One Piece lore, there's a ton of horrendous looking characters. But like, I don't know that a lot of them get merch. Is the thing. Oh yeah, the snot guy. Yeah, he was bad. Like some of the fishmen were upsetting to look at too. Lately, I've been really fixated on trying to like fix up my house with like storage solutions so that I can like finish having storage for everything and then feel like my house is complete. But I have to tell you that this is not a skill set that I have developed in any meaningful way. So I keep like thinking of like broadly what I need and where, but then I'm like, but how do I find exactly a piece of furniture I'm happy with that does that? Jinbei wouldn't work because Jinbei is hot. Yeah, I mean, obvious. You don't even like. Why even like say that? It's so unnecessary. Oh, one last thing. So, as part of the weird, like, inexplicable mandatory Windows goof update. I guess it really is a goof update because it was just like a prank. It's like a toilet where the hole's only big enough for farts. You know, it's like one of those. Like I pretty much live with my computer in night mode like all the time because my eyes are like super light sensitive and like the intensity of blue light coming off the screens is like kind of harsh for like the purpose of like a 3 to 4 hour stream or whatever. And like I kept trying to like toggle night mode like on and like nothing I was doing working. I even like restarted the whole computer after I had like most of the stream set up just because like I felt like I really needed that. And I ultimately figured out what the problem was, which was that it was actually turning on night mode, but like the intensity of like amber light on night mode was somehow reset to a default level that was so low that it was basically equivalent to not having night mode on at all. And I'm like, first off, I didn't realize that was adjustable. And secondly, why on earth is there a setting that's like just as detrimentally blue as not having night mode on? What purpose does that serve? I love that Zakula has now made this his mission. You could argue that Brooke isn't sexy being a literal skeleton, but I'm sure someone would disagree. I mean, he's got a lot of swagger for a skeleton, I would argue. But his personality is a little problematic. That he's always asking to see everyone's pantsuit. Why is there an Iva figure but not Tama? I mean, like there's two answers to that question. One, Tama wasn't in the first game, so I was been around longer and has the benefit of that. Two, I was like arguably one of the very central characters of the franchise, whereas Tama has been secondary, partially perhaps because of her affiliation with Ryuki and his skull. I'm not saying that this is a justification to not have a Tama option available, but I think that those would be the answers to that question. Anyway, I think that's enough nonsense. Let's see if we can complete a day in the life of Kathy Rain 2. It's only kind of a good transition because her name isn't a sequel. But we do know that there's a character whose name is Aru. Did someone say birthday? I believe that they did. So this is not to be mean, but I do think that Ryuki should be shot with a gun. You know what? I feel like that's a surprisingly not hot take with the community. I think I told you guys recently that I like came across like a half-hour video of someone being like, here's why like the plot twist and the bonus ending of Nirvana Initiative is like the greatest thing in gaming. And I was like, there's only like and dislike options. There's not disagree so hard I want to revoke your license. What license? I don't know and I don't care, but I want it revoked. I saw Ryuki getting jumped. I'd pretend like I didn't see anything. That might be a bit harsh for me. I'm not like a Ryuki apologist, but I think I'd mind Ryuki less than the majority of people. Certainly the majority of people in chat. I'll say that. Anyway, Zach, here's your spoiler warning, because in order to talk about where we left, I should leave it not motorcycle noising. It's very loud. There's definitely going to be some spoiler talk, particularly at the end of the recap, because some things happened on the particular day we just left off. So the last in-game day started with, we had the lead from the nightclub, right? We did our poetry thing. and we met with Hannah Verdew, and Hannah gave us some extremely vague information that might lead us to the identity of the like pyre dealers, which is like really the only lead we've actively been pursuing for some reason. And then the game wanted us to make several logical leaps, which we did with some non-trivial amount of coaching from a walkthrough that led us to have like a vague understanding of the identity of the pair of known pyre dealers. However, when we pursued one of them, we got like a lead on one of their address because a priest doxed them in 1998, which technically isn't possible, but definitely happened. And so we went there, and as we were rummaging around in their stuff, we heard a kerfuffle on the roof, and when we went up there, things went dramatically bad. We, like a close friend and ally of ours, found themselves on the wrong end of said kerfuffle, and then we went on a vengeance motorcycle ride that ended in some bodily harm. And then a wizard introduced himself to us, and we told him to kick rocks or suck eggs or something. And then Eileen was like, let's work together again, which really just drew attention to the fact in my mind that it's really dumb that this game took that path, because I want Kathy and Eileen to spend most of the game together. In fact, screw the Soothsayer killer. Why don't we just buy an apartment together and like exchange vows or whatever? So we pick up after a hospital stay. I'm pretty sure the game told us what to do, and luckily I remember how I'm supposed to get the game to tell me what it already told me to do. Let us continue the game. So here's Eileen. She's in our office. I love her. Let me check my handy dandy notebook. So what do we got on the docket for today?
The Chief Ranger should have some useful information about Cooper.
Oh, that's right. We were in the hospital long enough that we can actually try to get a meeting with the Chief of the Rangers. What are your feelings about Eileen? I love her, and I'm weird about it. I feel like now that we've crossed the like stream long waifu discussion threshold, when the game like models a woman who's just like completely my type, I'm just gonna be weird about it. It's kind of my personality. If you didn't skip ahead to this part in the YouTube video, then you heard the story of me being so like desperate that like on a date I just like waited around for an hour and like suffered indignity and then just went home. He's gonna be weird about it. I mean, listen, I think by now you probably all know to expect me to be weird about it, but I mean look at Eileen. She's nice, she has a fun, wholesome catchphrase. I mean, she looks like that. I don't like, what do you want me to do? Like, if you didn't want me to simp for her, then you should have not made her perfect. I don't know what to tell you.
Lucas may have left some useful clues behind. I should search his office.
That's not incorrect, but the way you put that does feel callous a bit. I don't know. Right? To the surprise of no one, Zacula is a big proponent of being weird about it. Honestly, I feel like that's good for all of us. I feel like I think it's always a hallmark that any streamers or like YouTuber or whatever, like any like content creators following is a reflection of them. And if there's like a conscious agreement of some like weirdness, if we're like all on the same page about it, it means that we've all sort of found each other and that everything is like working as intended.
I had Lucas's gun with me when I crashed my bike. If I'm lucky, it's still around there somewhere.
I did absolutely forget that like we like dropped a gun in our motorcycle crash, and we're just kind of hoping that it's still there. It has like real Disco Elysium vibes. Maybe Mr. Everett can help me find my gun. Okay, so try to find the bald guy who's not bald. Go to Lucas's place. Look for gun. Find Mr. Everett. I'm pretty sure we talked to Eileen a little bit, but not extensively at the end of the last stream, because I think, if I recall correctly, I was like, it will probably be easier for me to start the stream by asking Eileen a bunch of questions.
Can I talk to you for a sec?
Sure. What's up?
What I want to know is when you are going to redeem that coin and summon Lion-O to help you. I mean, just as soon as I need sight beyond sight. What's the thing he says when he like looks through the like hilt of the sword to like get a vision of the future? Okay, it appears I'm correct because I've asked her like most of these are questions I probably asked her just like earlier that haven't changed or whatever. This sort of yeah, but like doesn't he have like a chant he does? I mean, he's got like Thundercats when he like makes it from like dagger to like full-size sword. But like when he does the vision, doesn't he say something like, you know, sword of thunder, give me sight beyond sight? And then like I feel like there's more to it than that or something. They're both so pretty. I know, they're both perfect and they're both perfect for each other. But like some of us are Kathy heads and some of us are Eileen heads, and I'm over here on this side.
What's your take on the Soothsayer?
Not a cool guy. Keeps killing. D-.
They're sick, whoever they are. I don't want to understand them. I just want to stop them from hurting any more people.
What's your take on Deborah Sinclair, famous artist who got dead?
So, Deborah Sinclair, how do you think she ended up crossing paths with the Soothsayer?
I don't know, but the cabin had no signs of a break-in, right? She probably trusted her killer.
Or it was a ghost. Let's not rule out Occam's razor on this one.
Most likely, yeah.
What about Jane Doe, the burn victim whose name is Arun?
What do you think about Jane Doe, the burned woman?
Like, the longer we go without knowing her name, but knowing that it's Arun, like, I really want it to be something stupid. Kitchenetta.
Oh, what an agonizing death. It makes me wonder if the Soothsayer had some kind of personal vendetta against her.
The note that we got at the start of the last in-game day suggested that there's some sort of like ritualistic loop in terms of like method of killing. That it's like something like stab, burn, hang, shot or something like that.
It's possible. The other murders were relatively quick and clean in comparison, weren't they?
Yeah, quite a risk too, right? Doing it in a public place and everything?
Good point. Seems like an escalation. But then again, most serial killers grow bolder with each kill, don't they?
I guess so. In any case, learning Jane Doe's real identity should be key.
Talk about bolder. That strikes me as a bold statement. Certainly I imagine that learning Jane Doe's real identity would be helpful. Do I think it's like a natural conclusion to draw that it will be like key to the case or like break it open? I don't think so.
Agreed.
There's further discussion of Thundercats in chat. As Aculus says, time for the dreaded sentence. I'm not a furry, but. I mean, I think a lot of people on the internet have been there. But like, I always think it's really funny. I don't know. I think some of y'all like also watch some amount of like Game Grumps stuff. I think it's really funny how like Dan Avidan like didn't know what a furry was, and then like was kind of adamant for a while that he wasn't a furry, but like the more that people sort of pointed out he kept saying furry things, he's just like come around and like almost like completely embraced it. Like now he's kind of just like, now he'll just say something like Chitara, right? And it's like he won't like actively be like, I am a furry, but he'll just be like, yep, that's it. Don't forget she is a room. Yeah, I know. She's Dungeonessa. Is that something?
What's your theory on the deacon?
Reverend Winters said that he set up Faith Cyrene with an apartment, right? Well, she probably got close to him just like Eric and then had him killed.
The question is how? It clearly looked like suicide by hanging.
I mean, some sort of mind control, or maybe the drug makes you, like, highly suggestible or something? Lavatory Brooks.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I can't imagine how that could happen to a devout Christian like the deacon.
Oh yeah, remember that time where we had a weird interlude in the last episode where, like, the neighbor of one of the victims who, like, had the hots for him was, like, going to commit suicide, and we had to use, like, time loop technology to talk her down by convincing her that, like, his true love was his girlfriend who had previously committed suicide and that he didn't love her, and that was, like, the good outcome? Do you remember that? Were you here for that? Okay. Boyer Tom. I mean, it's like a girl, but that would be even funnier. Boyer Tom. I'm so deeply intrigued by this because, like, the answer doesn't seem super obvious. Not, like, I feel like if it was super, super obvious, then, like, between us all, we would have figured out what it definitely was by now. But, like, I'm just so curious what it's gonna be and, like, how dumb it's gonna be, and I'm not sure that there's a wrong answer. Unless I have to, like, solve a puzzle to figure it out, in which case it definitely could be too obscure or weird. I read Rose Taylor as Rose Tyler. I have done that, like, multiple times a stream every time I've played this game. Like, I am constantly doing that out of the corner of my eye.
What do you think happened to Eric Holloway?
From what we learned from Rachel, Faith Cyrene had her claws in him, didn't she?
Yeah. Eric was murdered on a roof too, just like Lucas. Everything points to Faith as the culprit. Any thoughts on the first victim, Rose Taylor?
Living Room Larry. No, I think that has a higher ESRB rating. Actually, how many of the Leisure Suit Larry games, like, had to have, like, a video game rating? Some of them predate that, don't they? Tim Pool. I mean, arguably Pool is a room if you have, like, Mount Holly Manor or whatever.
Not sure, but that affair that she had with an Angstrom patient sounds suspicious, right?
Yeah, it wouldn't be surprising if this lover of hers was involved in her death. What's your take on Rachel Wang, Eric's neighbor?
From what I know about her, she seems like a really troubled person. I hope she can get the help she needs.
Oh no, Sarah suggested Closette, and actually, like, that could almost be it. Like, Cosette is a name, isn't it? There was actually pretty tame, if I remember correctly. I mean, by modern standards, yeah. For the time, it was, like, super edgy. And there is some, like, to my recollection, any of the ones I know anything about, like, do have some, like, legitimately, like, weird stuff that's, like, definitely surprising got into a video game in their time. Tabitha Caldwell, actual witch.
How do you think Tabitha Caldwell fits into the case?
Oh man, so last weekend, as you may or may not know, you probably do if you watch regularly, but, like, I was spending time at my parents' house watching through some of the early release, like, Christmas movies for the year. There was one that had a quote that was so good I, like, almost want to add it to Name Game, which was, like, there's a situation where there's this guy who's, like, so nice he's, like, kind of a pushover is, like, how the plot goes, and, like, his love interest, like, kind of has, like, a fight with him toward the end and, like, does the silly breakup thing because she thinks that he's, like, not gonna fight for her. Frankly, the way it's written is stupid. It makes me angry and it kind of ruins a really good movie. But, like, the like, best friend of the female love interest is, like, trying to explain to her how ridiculous she's being. And so she says something like, so wait, you're mad that he wasn't mad about this misunderstanding? And she's like, yeah. And he's like, oh no, handsome, gainfully employed man in a good mood, which I just thought was really, really funny. I like that quite a lot. Any breakout ones? It's been an interesting year, broadly speaking.
Naturalist John Muir, huh?
That's right. I remembered to turn on StreamerBot so you can do that. So, like, broadly speaking, this has been the highest variance year I can remember, but like it's been trending that way for a while. For like many years, like the average like Hallmark holiday movie was like a C- to C+.
Mi miga, was it?
And this year, there are like a lot of A's and a lot of F's. But like in terms of like ones that I like truly would recommend, I mean, honestly, I think my favorite so far this season is one that I thought would have to either be amazing or terrible, and I actually ended up liking it a good bit. It combines like two offbeat holiday movie tropes of secret royalty and like country lifestyle, where like a princess from a fictional country like was brought to a dude ranch in like Utah in her youth by her father, the king. And when she was like having a stressful time because she was like due to take over the responsibilities of the crown, she decided to like leave the country and take a break by going back to the same dude ranch she remembered, and then she like falls in love and Christmas romance and all of that. I think that's probably my favorite one for the year. That one is called Royal Montana Christmas. There was another one I liked a lot. It was on the main competitor to Hallmark, which is Great American Family, which is increasingly leaning into being like an overtly religious holiday movie channel. Not all of them are that, but they've been devoting like a higher percentage of their slate to that every year, which isn't inherently bad. But as you can imagine, the people who write like TV movies for people to have on in the background while wrapping presents, they're not always doing a super nuanced job, and some of those are not good at all. But there was one that I really liked this year. What's the name of that? I have like a bunch of notes on these. I just don't want to like belabor the stream to like do a full breakdown of them. But like I thought it did a really good job. Like the premise was that like a woman who was like kind of struggling with her faith because she just like was struggling with her job and like didn't have much purpose because that wasn't going well. She found like a little girl's like Christmas wish list and then started trying to just like make it come true to like make the girl happy and to sort of have like a life affirming moment. And it does this nice job of sort of like conflating like the wholesomeness of like sincere like faith with the concept of the Christmas spirit, so that I think it did an effective job of like talking about faith but not like overtly like overbearingly like preaching about it, just sort of being like we should all look out for each other and be good to each other and like that sort of thing, but like in a way that like if you wanted faith in your movie it would apply, and if you didn't then it would still just sort of be like a wholesome good time. I want to see the inverse story where a country gal becomes a royalty or a city slicker. That would be fun. I don't know that we've had that, but I think it's existed in something. Newport time travel one was good. That was good. The Newport time travel one is good. The ending's a little silly, but my main gripe about that one is that the first act is the same as a time travel movie I liked from like 5 years ago. Not a major complaint, just strikes me as very silly that it's like the same thing. Have I seen Princess Diaries? Yeah, not in a long time. Anyone see that Pinocchio movie with Pauly Shore? Nah, is that real? Shakespeare in the Park was a simple upload, not live. Does that at least mean that it's easily accessible to you, Demolition? Alright, I'm gonna start playing the game again. I got all riled up because Tabitha Caldwell Obvious Witch is a thing that like I've vaguely considered putting on the name game list, and that reminded me of, oh no, a handsome, gainfully employed man in a good mood. Just a really funny thing to say.
Hard to say, but everything we have on her is circumstantial, right? So she could easily be innocent in all of this.
I guess so, yeah.
Rose's lover discharge? I know the context of what this means, but I have to say that I don't think I love the way that's phrased in my notebook.
What are your thoughts on the Ingstrom patient that Rose had a relationship with?
Well, I'd say it's an odd coincidence if it has nothing to do with her murder.
Octavian says, I think it must blizzard tonight. Ooh, what blizzard will it be this time? Will you get one of the royal blizzards? The absolutely overwhelming, 3 topping with, solid, syrup filling?
Agreed. Let's hope we can get to the bottom of who this mystery patient is soon.
Corey Faze Finnegan, the street artist.
What's your opinion on that Phase guy?
By the way, I'm open to adding... basically there's, as far as I understand, no upper limit to the number of stupid names that can go on the name game list. So if there's ever, popular support for something, I will probably get around to it eventually. Much like I intend to get a Jigglypuff as seen from above. And I probably have the tools to do it, but I haven't made the time to do it. Mostly because I've spent my free time finally playing Pokemon ZA and not getting much else done.
Well, drug addicts aren't the most reliable witnesses, are they? We should probably take some of the things he told you with a grain of salt.
Ooh, time to try the peppermint bark one. I'll be excited to hear your thoughts on it. I was very pleasantly surprised. I thought it might be good, and it was better than I thought it would be. Tried the new Oreo and Reese's Blizzard last week. Is there one that combines both? I'm not aware of this. It's good enough, but not good enough to get a second time. I totally know what that's like. I've had a few of those. There was a snickerdoodle cookie one from a couple months ago that I was really excited about, and I tried it. I was like, this is pretty good. I don't think I would get it again. Only because there's so many other options.
Yeah, that might be for the best.
Yeah, peppermint bark is, I think it's the monthly special. It might be just part of the seasonal menu. There's a minor distinction there I haven't fully grasped. I've only lived in the vicinity of a Dairy Queen for 13 months or so. And I've only spent the last 6 really routinely going to Dairy Queen and really using basically every applicable definition.
What do you think about Victor Cooper?
Well, from what you told me, he sounds like a dangerous person. We have to be careful if we decide to go after him.
Got it. Be reckless.
What are your thoughts on Faith Cyrene?
Well, she must be a ruthless woman, butchering Lucas like that.
Now, don't get me wrong. Lucas is in a bad way. He experienced what one might describe as an angry whoopsie. I don't know that butchering is the word I would use to apply. When I think of I don't want to get graphic, but when I think of butchering a person, I think of the result of being truly grotesque and probably bordering on torture or something. He died. Routinely going to Dairy Queen is a worrisome statement. Nah, it's not. You had your insulin levels checked lately, Vasco? I mean this with all sincerity and no joking. I think I have an inhumanly high tolerance for sugar. I don't actively seek to add more sugar to my diet, but I've always had a sweet tooth, and I think I have often had more sugar in my diet than other people, and I've basically never experienced sugar crash or any other side effect other than the usual of me struggling with my weight. But I really genuinely don't worry about insulin or diabetes. That could absolutely change in my lifetime, but nothing leading up to now has led me to have any genuine concern about that. Also, when I say regularly going to Dairy Queen, I mean for the past few months, I've gone once, on average, something once every 9 days or something. There's been I think 1 week in the past, in that time. I think there's 1 week where I went twice in the same week. And that was because there was like a lot of bad stuff going on. So give me a break. That was like when the window thing got rescheduled and all that badness.
I'm guessing it wasn't her first kill. She knew several of the murder victims. And even if she didn't take them out personally, she's gotta be a major accessory.
Major accessory. Man, I bet Major Accessory has like a really cool purse. A really cool military purse full of guns.
Probably, yeah. I wonder who's in charge, though. Is Faith Cyrene calling the shots, or is it the ranger guy?
Good question. It could even be someone else entirely. I don't think we know enough to say for sure.
I'm gonna guess that it's Ron Burgundy. Not the Ron Burgundy, but a Ron Burgundy. By which I mean the strange guy who appeared in a hallucination and called himself Mr. Burgundy. I would like to ask Eileen about my cat.
How'd you get along with Mildred when I was out?
It was like I never left. She's such a cutie.
Shall we sculpt some flesh friends, then?
I mean, if we can avoid it, I might suggest that. Every time we do have one of those, like, 2 times a year video meetings, it ends with what one of my former coworkers used to call the pet parade, which made her really angry, which is that everyone runs out of useful things to say and then goes to grab their pets and shows them off on screen. I don't have any pets because I have too many things that I don't want pets to destroy, and also I'm allergic to most living things that are cute, which is kind of why I like having so many of these guys. But I do have to say that I do have like 17 outdoor cats or whatever, and they're always doing fun shenanigans. You just grab a plush and call it your pet. There was a while, like maybe like a year into COVID, when we had a few of these. Like the year we had probably like more of them than any other. There was like a period during COVID where my boss was like actually making an effort to do them more often. And I started specifically and only placing a slightly increasing number of narwhals in the background of my scene, because it was the same setup I had for streaming, and it was just like the big empty couch. And I had brought to the office, when we still had the office, my like reversible mood narwhals. Well, one of them I bought for the office, and one of them I had for home. Now I just have 2 of them. But like I started by like putting them in the background, and then I added another one the next time we had a meeting, and then another one, and then another one. It took like 4 meetings for someone to be like, what's going on back there? Do I have a quote unquote favorite pet? I think I need you to be like, oh, plush. It's tough. I mean, I think I kind of am obliged to declare that Carlos is my favorite Squishmallow. He's very important to me on many levels, and he's the Squishmallow that got me to get other Squishmallows. And I think second to that in the Squishmallow category is Oob the Ghost, because Oob the Ghost is glorious. Overall, favorite plush is pretty hard. Some of the Squirtles have a lot of, like, personal meaning. That might be too difficult to impulsively decide. It's true. There was a really good moment. I almost put it on the Discord, but I think it comes dangerously close to doxing me, because that's my, like, mailbox in the background. Although, comically, the mailbox is in such a state you probably can't even read my address off of it. But I might have one of them that has that cropped out. But, like, there's this big tree in my front yard, and when I first looked at this house, I noticed that there was a cat sitting in the tree watching me, and I thought that was kind of cute and endearing. And they don't actually do that very often, so it's really interesting that that happened around the time we were looking at the house originally. But I saw, like, the one of the cats who spends the most time on my property was just like staring up the tree, which I've seen them do like more and more often. It doesn't necessarily amount to anything. The cats just like to stare up at trees. But like for some reason I got the sense that she was actually going to jump up into it, and she did. And then I got a really good picture of her sitting on one of the branches of the tree, looking up further in the tree, probably considering if she was going to jump onto a different branch. Favorite plushie has better be the incredibly tiny crochet pirate hat. I mean, You know it ranks. It's one of the most frequently displayed things on the stream. It's on display almost every week, and the only other thing that really has that distinction is Carlos. Is there anything else I want to ask about in this room?
I don't want to ask.
Do you want a haircut?
I don't want to show that to her.
Wow, is that it?
Yep. The Soothsayer used one just like this.
Sarah says, my favorite plush is maybe my little stuffed Vulpix, or this cutie bat I won for my birthday. It has foldable wings that wrap in a hug. I have one like that, although it's not extremely cute. It's part of some line that's supposed to be like vaguely realistic looking, but like back in the early Renegade Constabulary days, I think it was like during like our Zelda Ocarina of Time playthrough, I was like complaining about like ugly bats or something, and then what my friend from high school like mailed me a bat that he thought was ugly, and he's like, look, here's that ugly bat you wanted. Which I appreciate on a special specific level. When I was acting, this is my favorite plush is a shark that I bled all over by accident because I took a nap after getting a tooth extracted. So he's my son since he carries my blood. That's the most Zacula way to bring that around to a positive. I really appreciate that. And I'm sorry that happened, though. Oh, shoot, they got rid of my, like, green photo of myself. Alright, I should finally leave this room. It's been like 6 hours since I started the stream.
All right.
Okie dokie.
Okie dokie.
I should listen to my messages before.
Oh, I didn't notice that. That's my bad. I've been pretty good about that, but I didn't notice that there because I was looking at Eileen. Hi, Eileen. I love you. I'm weird about it.
It's me, Josh. I heard you woke up and left. I just wanted to let you know that, things don't look good for you with Mr. Longhorn.
Yeah, no, that's true. Sarah says, my bat is from Belzy, which I think you have a plush from. Yes, I have 3 Belzy plush. No, 4. I have, I got a Narwhal from there, because it has a cute face. It's actually what the sub badge is based on, is the Belzy Narwhal. And then for, like, my birthday a few years after that, they, like, released a line of these good dinosaurs I liked. And I got this, like, random dinosaur crate that gave me... I think I ended up buying 1 dedicated Triceratops because Triceratops is my favorite dinosaur. And then I got a crate that was like a random big dinosaur and a random small dinosaur. And I got Gregosaurus, the Stegosaurus, and Charlotte Brontosaurus, who I haven't displayed as much lately, but I do love them. Yeah, Ceratops is the Belzy Triceratops.
He had a lot of friends here, and everyone's looking for a scapegoat. I've been trying to keep the guys off your back, but there's only so much I can do. So, yeah, I think it's in your best interest to come to the station voluntarily. It's only a matter of time until there's a warrant with your name on it.
So I guess I just got my partner a huge axolotl plush, keeping it a secret for Christmas. Is it a huge Squishmallow axolotl? Because Sarah has some of those.
Oh, and I'm sorry about what happened before. I was in a bad place. Let's talk and clear the air when we can, okay? Bye.
That doesn't sound good.
Nah, it's pretty bad.
Nope. We'll have to crank up the pace. No time to get derailed by the cops.
But wait, don't we have to work with the police to stop the killer?
It's like a long axolotl. Axolotl the long way.
Eventually, yes, but I know the cops in this town. The only way we'll get those boneheads on our side is if we give them the Soothsayer on a silver platter. There can't be a shred of doubt. And after everything that went down with Lucas, the odds aren't in our favor.
Then we're gonna have a hard time in the Hunger Games.
I suppose so. We better stick with the case then.
Now I will leave. For no reason at all. Look at all these locations. And I can no longer go to the newspaper because my beloved Eileen isn't there anymore. So there's the crash site. Ranger station. I'm going to go to the city library and talk to Tom Ward.
Tom was a no-show today, huh? Guess he's out and about.
Awkward. Can I rummage through his things? Can I have
A
a computer?
workstation for the librarian. If I need to search for books, I could use the computer down the hall.
Yeah, but what if I want to rummage through his things like a kleptomaniac? Super crazy they're sitting on this couch not kissing. I don't understand it at all. How do you even do that? How is it possible to be in the same room with Eileen and not be kissing her? Super weird. Not me, the situation. I'm very normal. I think they changed the number of people in the background of the library. Exactly. I think it's really funny and telling and a little depressing that we're only just now considering that we're playing the game, but to be honest, yeah, that's fair. Night, Echo. I suspect we'll be playing this tomorrow, but who knows how long it'll take us to play the game. You know how it is. So not there, not there. I don't think I'm gonna have an easy time finding evidence here. Really, the cops haven't made this their home base?
Good thing I still had my spare key. Looks like the cops haven't been here yet, so I better work quickly before they get a warrant and ransack the place.
Okay.
Lucas's favorite cigars. Whenever he was stuck on a case, he'd light up one of those and just sit and ponder in that chair.
If Mystery hopped out, I probably miss it, but I think she may be taking an escape helicopter.
Lucas's favorite brand of whiskey. He made me promise to down one of these at his funeral. Silly old man.
Silly old Pooh Bear.
Old pictures of Lucas and his army buddies. He served in Vietnam.
Yeah, I suppose it's possible her friend showed up, but I definitely like to imagine escape helicopter, but mostly just because I like to imagine escape helicopter.
I've always been jealous of this view. It was the one thing I couldn't hope to match when I set up RAIN investigations. Pretty standard literature in the PI biz. I have copies of most of these back in my office.
You think there's a periodical called Private Dick Monthly? Did you ever see the live-action Winnie the Pooh movie? Do you mean...
No gun, as expected. This is where Lucas would keep his revolver.
Do you mean the Christopher Robin movie? That was Ewan McGregor, wasn't it? Who played adult Christopher Robin, and he had interactions with CG Winnie the Pooh. I did see that. That movie was good. It was, in some ways, it was better than I expected. There's a few things about it that are a little heavier and darker than I was thrilled with, but it ended up being a really good movie that I do recommend if you're a Winnie the Pooh fan. The Blood and Honey horror movie that came out when Winnie the Pooh entered public domain, I've not seen that. I don't aspire to. I've seen a trailer. It doesn't look good. Yeah, I definitely think Christopher Robin was better than it had any right to be. I mean, some of the heavy stuff it handles really, really well, but there's a couple moments that were just in particular, I don't think it's too much of a spoiler, but there's a couple things that make Christopher Robin come off kind of a dick that I didn't love. So I'm fussing with my Eevee keychains. The movie made my mom cry. I mean, it's a very emotional movie. It's one of the few that nearly got me, and I don't say that as a flex. We've talked about this. I'm just a broken person who doesn't cry. I get kind of emotional sometimes, but I don't really the one that usually gets me is Wall-E. I just want them to hold hands.
There are some spare bullets in here, though. Better take some.
Oh, I don't love where that's
All right,
going.
that should be plenty.
Only in that sounds like resource management, not that we're getting a gun. Gun should solve a lot of problems for us.
No
Anything else
gun,
here?
as expected. This is where Lucas would keep his revolver.
This is where I would keep my revolver. If I had any.
Pretty standard literature in the...
Oh, I read that. Framed article.
Just some old news coverage of a big case Lucas solved in the 80s. Mob-related. Got pretty hairy, he told me. Looks like Lucas has plotted out all the Soothsayer murders here on a map. I don't see any obvious pattern.
It's most likely going to form like a pentagram, right? I assume I should take a photo of this.
I don't want to waste film on that.
Really? What is the camera for? I feel like that's the second, like, really clever, like, evidence to take a photo of that the game has just been like, nah, idiot. But, like, if I'm not gonna, I mean, can I, like, write this in my copybook?
No need to write anything about that.
Don't you think this is something I want? You just try to take a picture of Eileen? Oh, you're so right. You're so real for that. What a normal and not weird suggestion.
No way. I can't stand that stupid clicking sound.
Check
Just
his
some old
files.
case files. I don't need to bother with these.
There doesn't seem to be much of use in his office, if I could be honest with you.
Guess that Hawaii retirement isn't happening, Lucas.
Wow. I mean, fair, I guess. There better be something in the trash can or in the desk. Otherwise, we're toast.
Doesn't look like anything of note was thrown away.
Good, good. I did get the bullets, but, like, it seems like I should be able to get something that advances my understanding of the case here.
Lucas's address book. I can cross-reference it with my notes. Nothing new, just her Onyx Row address, which I already have. Worth a shot, but no, nothing. I don't need to look.
Rose's lover.
What if I could, but I don't have a name to search for?
I bet I might be able to do that later if the cops don't, like, lock this place down. A beeper, perhaps? Yes, we'll get there.
I don't need to look that. I don't need.
Can you imagine if I just, like, checked his Rolodex and, like, someone was, there's just, like, a phone number under the Soothsayer killer?
I don't need to look that. I don't need to. 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 I don't need to.
Yeah, this is clearly something that's not useful now. I have to find, like, Jane Doe's name or something.
Looks like Lucas received a few messages on this pager recently. I believe this model can only display numbers. Weird note. Some sort of reminder?
000 equals, huh? Park 1 times 4, mall 2 times 4, cafe 3 times 4, square 4 times 4. Well, he's not wrong about that last one. That is a square. She doesn't need to look up the suits. Oh, beeper. I see. I see what you did there. Beep. This sounds like some vague scribblings about, like, a game design, like Battleship for Public Works or something.
Very cryptic. That list of locations is interesting. I'm only familiar with the park. I wouldn't know what places the others are referring to. Standard KPD radio manual. Lucas probably used this to decipher police communications.
Ah, I don't love that. It's true she's never heard of Muller Cafe. I also thought that was weird. What even is a cafe? You know, how do magnets work? Apparently some people legitimately don't know. Haven't we even been in a cafe in this game? Have we? I think we've been in a place like a cafe. I'm not sure. I mean, we went to
Picture an egg.
the club. I'm kind of concerned that the beeper has to do with these codes here. That sounds annoying.
All right, so this is what Lucas was up to this month. Hopefully I can find some useful clues in here.
See, Kathy Aria reward. That has to have been day 1, right? We went to the club. Did we bring the ham? No, we did not bring ham to the club. I know. Faux pas, for sure. I also don't think we had an emergency helicopter. At least not one that Kathy Rain told me about.
Dog watching, huh? For whom, I wonder? That was the night when he died.
Yeah, I sort of gathered that.
Looks like some meeting related to Lucas's ex-wife. I doubt that's relevant to me. That's the day when Lucas came to me to ask to team up. I wish I'd taken him up on it. I remember this JK person from when I worked here. They're a police informant. I don't know their real identity, though. Probably worth trying to learn more about them. JK deliver? Here on the 25th. Was Lucas waiting for a delivery from the informant when he died?
When did the first Harry Potter book come out? Is it possible that JK Deliver is like he's getting a crate of Harry Potter books?
Dog watching. I guess those bad fillings are the least of your worries now, buddy. This must be that thing Lucas mentioned about digging up dirt on the mayor. Shouldn't be relevant to me right now.
Brought a ham to the club.net is down. I don't remember what that does. What is that supposed to do? Does it just play the song? This is a Glasscannon Network thing. It's a weird in-joke. It's like basically based on nothing other than a funny thing to say.
Jackson is Lucas's youngest son. Must be his birthday that day.
Okay, so the main takeaway appears to have been JK. Can always use dirt on the mayor. I always be saying that.
The Longhorn Boys. Lucas and his sons. This photo must be several decades old.
Oh, Neko says apparently the first book was June 1997. It's a long delivery for him. He must have ordered his copy from China. When did the second one come out? Was that in 98? We're in May of 98. Maybe?
No, I've got my own.
So this looks like a real phone number. Is there like a way... This is really confusing. One would think that you would just like make calls to the numbers on the beeper to like learn who he was talking to. But I can't pick it up and I can't seem to like use it on phone or use it while using the phone interface. So hang on. July 2nd, 1998. Oh, really? He was sent an early draft in May. Well, maybe that's why it's got to be so secret, Neko. Maybe he got early proofs of the Chamber of Secrets. Okay, the last one is 10/11/1064. Dog case. Message for local delivery. Oh boy. Don't love the look of this. 10/11. There's really a dog case police... That can't be correct. I'm going to be really embarrassed when this isn't a correct interpretation of the beeper, or really validated when it is. 10/11/1024. Assignment completed. I don't know, maybe I'm a big, huge brain. 10, 11, 33, 33. Wait, what? What the heck is 33, 33? I don't know what that is. Made a note of 1033, but that's not how that works, so it's probably nothing. 11, 11, 10, 4. So dog, case, okay. Alright, that's kind of nothing. Now, 555-215-542. I don't have that phone number. Second book didn't get published till 1999 in America. Yeah, but maybe he got that advanced copy from Europe. Why are the phone numbers so long? Well, for one, it's a fictional game, so they can be however long they want. For two, my interpretation of this, and I could be completely wrong, but I feel like these 10-centric numbers are meant to be some sort of coded messages using this, like, police shorthand, which is what I've made notes about. Is that completely off base? Maybe, I don't know. But I don't want to have to translate it again. Not on the pager, but in your copybook. I mean, technically, these are like 1 digit shy of the length of like an Earth American phone number. It's really annoying me that I can't do anything with the phone number in the pager. I can't like write it down. I can't call it. Like that's... There's no like diamond for me to click on the pager to use that. It seems like that should be doable.
No need to make...
I don't think I should call Josh office. Account 555 is the area code, but that's usually used as a prefix, so they are 2 numbers too long in my opinion. But is the glass half empty or half full? Apparently the Philosopher's Stone was published in America in September 1998, so he wouldn't even have been able to read the first book in May unless he got a copy from the UK. Yeah, I think we cracked the case. Alright, for now, I think that's all the TV there is. I feel like I'm gonna have to come back to deal with the beeper, perhaps? I'm gonna be mad about it. But why May? Was it his birthday? Well, his son's birthday was listed earlier in the month. Maybe he missed the birthday, and to make up for it, his plan was to import the first Harry Potter book from the UK. This is my working theory. We're only 1 or 2 steps away, I think, from solving the Soothsayer murder. I think we're really close, gang. Guess I'll go to the crash site now. This is concerning already. There's like a bunch of junk here that's gone. I feel like it's gonna be not so easy to find that gun.
Bingo. I can see something shiny down there. How to get it up, though?
Normally a woman doesn't ask that question or something. Is that something? How do magnets work? Anyone know? Anyone know how magnets work? I think I'm mostly gonna need just like brand new inventory items, because I don't think any of this stuff helps.
Nothing but a big load of trash. I don't need to mess with that.
Big load of trash, you say? Did I ever even add this to here? I did.
Look at all this trash.
Useful for heavy lifting. I don't need to do anything with that. Just some guy on a break. I shouldn't bother him.
Shouldn't bother him or tase him.
Shall we
Trigger
sculpt
finger
some
much?
flesh friends then?
Perhaps we could try that. Okay,
I
hold on.
really lost control there, didn't I?
So in order for these tracks to make sense, the whole thing had to like completely circle around on itself and like drive back the way it came, like on a motorcycle. Seems really tricky to hit that like figure 8 mark with the tire skids.
That must be the spot. I don't remember the actual impact. In real life, that's just some random industrial building. No need to go in there. Business as usual. As if I was never here.
Gotta say, not looking good for the home team in real life, as opposed to she had a hallucination at the end of the last day after the motorcycle accident where she followed Lucas. I think like Lucas was in her hallucination of the alleyway after she had been in the accident, and she followed him into the building, and it led to the weird place where she was like on stage speaking into a microphone and herself was like making fun of her. And then we like had a dream within a dream where we woke up and it was like the scary guy in our bed, and then we woke up again and we were in the hospital. I don't think I can do anything here if I can't like talk to that guy or tase that guy or like lockpick my way in.
I guess
here.
I could, but
Or like lockpick my way into the sewer.
I can't unlock that.
That sounds like quitter talk. Alright, I'm gonna go somewhere else. Sebastian is out noodling around and he says, face snaking tongue out. Very good. Very good use of ASCII. I like it. Let's go back to the office and execute Katani's extremely good suggestion on making progress with camera.
Hey, hey.
Hey, E. I don't want to take her picture.
You have so little credibility, Kathy. I don't know what to tell you. It's like I don't even understand you anymore. Game is broken, get a refund. I saw that there was like some massive sale on the Siberia games on Amazon's weird game launch platform. I don't know if that's still going on, but I was really thinking about buying them. Someday I do think we should play through the whole Siberia series, including ones that came out after Siberia 3 I know basically nothing about. Be an interesting time. Would mean playing through Siberia 3 again, which went so well the first time. Everyone loves the Ukels. Feels like there aren't a lot of things to do, huh? I guess I'll go to the ranger station. Maybe I'll meet Zordon? Are we being punished? You know what you did. I don't, but you do. Sarah, weren't you the one who
Hello
really liked
again.
this character?
I'm back.
Oh, hi. Chief Walker is on duty now. You'll find him past the door to your left.
Okay, now I'm actually insanely suspicious of this person I really didn't have strong feelings about before. So, like, 4 days passed, and we were in, like, a coma, and, like, we came in one day and we're like, can we talk to your boss? And she was like, no! And we, like, came back, like, 4 days later with, like, bandages on our face, and she's just like, he's ready to see you! I'm like, that's unbelievably suspicious. What are you talking about?
Ah, great. I think I'll have a chat with him then.
Dude, Window World could never. had to call them so many times to get my stupid, like, inspection scheduled. That happened yesterday. As a reminder, the installation of the windows was, like, the Monday before this past one.
Sure, you have a nice day now.
Thanks. You too.
Yes, come in.
It's not what I was expecting him to look or sound
Chief
like.
Walker?
Yeah, that's me. Who's asking?
Kathy Rain, private investigator.
Oh, another one. I thought you'd all given up by now.
Sorry to disappoint, but this gal is more stubborn than most.
Apparently. Go on then.
The letters JK mean anything to you?
I don't want to ask him about that.
Yeah, the inspection already? Nah, it's scheduled for Monday. But, like, they were super cagey about it, even when I finally got the stupid lady on the phone. She, like, put me on hold to get my case file, and it's just like, what information could you possibly have or need? Your office is so bad. Do you know a lady whose name is Arun?
What do you know about Jane Doe, the fourth Soothsayer victim?
You're a PI. You know how this works. You'll have to make do with my statements in the press, just like everyone else.
I should clear a bunch of those. Probably not this one.
Did you know Deborah Sinclair well?
I did, yes. I considered her a friend.
I'm sorry. That must have made things hard for you.
Indeed. It was somewhat of a relief when the city boys took over the murder case.
Still seems weird to me that you would have, like, full jurisdiction. Dude says, I thought what he said was Europa, like her name, not Eura PI. Well, time makes fools of us all. Hey, how about this Victor Cooper fellow?
I'd like to speak to Ranger Cooper. Can you arrange that?
I guess this. Oh, I think I understand JK delivery. He was using text-to-speech. He scheduled that day and made to deliver the punchline for a big joke. Oh, of course. Yeah, the lady at the window install place was like, yeah, so this happens through the city government, which means that the window for it to happen is 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. It's like, well, it has to happen, and so I don't have any say over that, so, okay. He wasn't a Harry Potter fan at all. It finally makes sense. I mean, maybe he's, like, way ahead of the curve on being a fan of J.K. Simmons, who I think was already, like, kind of a character actor, but, like, hadn't had a breakout from, like, Whiplash and various subsequent things that have made him more famous in recent years.
No can do. Ranger Cooper is on leave for the time being.
Man, when was the first Spider-Man movie? It was probably, like, 99?
He is? Why?
Personal reasons. He'll be back on duty in a few weeks.
2002.
I can
Wow, really? The
pass
first
on
one?
details if you
Bigger than I
wish.
thought.
I can't wait that long. Surely there's no harm in providing his phone number.
I
I
know.
just need to speak with him.
That's not how stuff works, even in the 90s.
No phone, which is the case for all of our resident rangers.
It's true. There was like a trailer that had like a giant web between the World Trade Centers. I remember that.
Resident rangers? That means they all live within the confines of the park, right?
Why would you ask that?
Yes, I suppose it does. But you shouldn't try to go find him, miss.
Understood.
What's stopping me, Chief? Bear Creek is public land, isn't it?
Technically, yes. Just don't harass the poor man, will you? He's been through enough.
To shreds, you said.
What's that supposed to mean?
Never mind. I'm getting too old for this shit.
He said the thing.
Do you know a Faith Cyrene? She's supposed to have some form of facial scars.
Faith Cyrene is like not a person's name.
No, I don't. That's not a familiar name.
You would definitely know one way or the other if you've heard of a Faith Cyrene.
Does the name Rachel Wang mean anything to you?
Afraid not. I don't know who she is.
Do you know who Tabitha Caldwell is?
No, I've never heard that name before.
Do you recognize the name Corey
You
Finnegan?
should actually know this
He
guy,
also
right?
goes by the moniker Phase.
Doesn't ring a bell, no.
Have you heard of
The fantastic fighting DT man.
or
Desuhiko Thunderbolt.
have you heard of Desuhiko Thunderbolt?
I don't want to ask him about that. Are you familiar with Pyre?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Never mind. Guess you guys never got that far.
Sick burn? Question mark?
What do you know about scrying mirrors?
Well, we both know how they relate to the murders, but other than that, I haven't come into contact with them.
Square.
I don't want to ask him about that. I don't want to ask.
Let me ask about your
What do you think of
receptionist.
Cassie?
Oh, Miss Sullivan does a fine job. I'm sure she'll make a great ranger one day.
May the power protect you.
Are you an avid hunter?
Of course. In my view, it's an integral aspect of being a ranger. Nature is riddled with death, you know. Eat or be eaten. And we shouldn't lose sight of that.
Are you blagging the receptionist, Sarah?
A tea person, I see. Black or green?
Depends on the mood. Yao Pon's my favorite. Heard of it?
Yeah, I've heard of it. Don't rub it in.
I have, but not until I started doing research on Deborah Sinclair. She loved that stuff, didn't she?
Ah, of course. Yes, indeed. She's the one who introduced me to it.
I don't want to
drugs?
ask. I don't want to ask him
Ammo?
about.
I should take a look at that transcript again. I don't remember what all was in there. I think that mainly just had Faith's name. 0 out of 10 worst receptionist. I definitely understand not liking the receptionist, and as I've stated, I'm very suspicious of her based on her greeting to us today. However, I feel like those are some strong feelings. Is it possible that only I can prevent forest fires?
I don't want to ask him about that.
She doesn't even want to go to a Tommy. That's true. I can't argue that. But I mean, surprisingly few characters are into
Thanks.
that.
I'll be.
Alrighty then. Good.
Wait, have we changed our
I should
story?
see if I could find out where those resident rangers live. Maybe something in this room can help.
Probably. So now we're saying the reason we don't like this receptionist is that she's not the bosomist receptionist from Lemniscate, the talent agency in Somnium Files games.
Overpriced pictures of landmarks I've seen 100 times. Brochures of various outdoor activities around Bear Creek. Nothing here looks very interesting to me at the moment.
It's the map.
Looks
It's
like
the
a map of the immediate surroundings here in Bear Creek. Various points of interest are marked out.
Sarah says, listen, if she's going to be annoyingly peppy, she better be overly titty. Not gonna argue that. Not sure if I could, but I'm not going to.
Ah, there's the ranger accommodations. It's not that far of a trek from the nearest
Far
parking
trek.
spot,
We should
so
make a TV show.
I should be able to cover the rest of the distance on foot. I better not risk it without a gun, though. Lucas's revolver should be somewhere near the crash site.
Wow, we are really convinced this guy is going to immediately kill us. That may not be wrong, but it's also kind of a strong stance. How on earth am I supposed to get that stupid gun? This game is a weird way of structuring its order of operations. But I think my real problem isn't the order, but rather that the order enforces a really strict series of logical leaps for things. Like how on the previous day, before we could accomplish much of anything, we had to be able to like figure out Faith's name. But like the evidence was like wonky as heck. Strong feelings on the booby to receptionist ratio. I don't know why, but I suddenly feel like I should fund Sarah's small business. What is the business? I don't think I care. I can go to Meadows Trail. You think she knows how to get a gun out of a sewer grating?
I guess she's not home.
Pretty sure I've tried breaking in before and she got mad at me, right?
Nah, there's no reason to break into Meadow's trailer. It's the pills I was given for my head injury. Should be taken in case of any sudden headaches or dizziness.
Yeah, we've been raising in our apartment with a lampshade on its head. Thank you for the bits demolition. I too will back this bustling business. I see, I see. Are we throwing a funeral for Lucas very spontaneously?
Let's not. Hello again, Father.
Welcome back, my child. What can I help you with?
I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to.
I want to show the priest my pills and ammo.
All right.
Goodbye.
There's another thing that's kind of weird about this game that is very kind of subjective. It's like an issue. But it's weird to me that the game somewhat arbitrarily determines what are like valid locations for the day. Which like hints at certain things you can and cannot do for a given day. In like a weird way. Like, why can I go to the church? It kind of suggests that like later in the day I will need to go to the church. Like, why can I go to Bear Creek Deborah's cabin? I really doubt there's anything there that's like new or useful. Guy's not even here. He left after day one. Maybe day two.
I already searched it.
Okay, again, that's not how the mail works. Vis-a-vis dead people. I don't think I've ever had my own address anywhere where I wasn't occasionally receiving mail from like two separate people who no longer lived at that address. So like, in no world do I believe that like mail is not being delivered to her cabin because she died recently. Okay, I'm gonna try something random that doesn't feel like it's a good idea, but it seems like one of the only things I can do.
Hey, hey.
Hey, E.
Josh
No
office.
way. After what happened with Lucas, I gotta give the cops a wide berth. I can't have them slow me down.
Nobody gonna break up my stride. Nobody gonna slow me down. Got to keep on moving. And then they kiss. So true. Okay, so I can't do the cabin until I get the gun. I do not feel like there's more for me to do there right now.
I need to come up with some way to extract the gun from the drain. Maybe I can get creative somehow.
Ugh, get creative in an adventure game can go either extremely well or extremely badly and basically everything in between.
Can I talk?
Sure.
Do you know JK?
I'm
EE?
looking for a person that Lucas knew who goes by JK. Ring any bells?
Not really.
I don't want to show that to.
The doctor gave you those?
Yep. I meant to take them if my head injury acts up.
We haven't tried kissing Eileen. Maybe it would help. Yeah? Yeah, I'll be worried about it.
All right.
I do not know what the game is getting at for like the 5th time. We've seen worse, but we do seem to find ourselves here with some regularity. Alright, I'm gonna go back to Lucas's office, but I don't think I'm gonna learn anything. So just to be clear, I do believe I've used every single hotspot. Triple zero. Park 1x4. I don't think this has to do with the beeper codes. Because none of them have 000. Some of them have 111. One of them has 333. Park 1x4. Mall 2x4. I feel like normally I'd go to a hardware store for a 2x4. Cafe Square.
Very cryptic. That list of locations is interesting. I'm only familiar with the park. I wouldn't know what places the others are referring to.
I don't know how I think I complained about this at a different point in the game too, but like the way the interface of this game seems to work, if it doesn't get added to my notebook, then there's like a hard limit to what I can like do with information. Look at manual. I don't know why like Morse code's in here. I don't know. I don't know what that's for. That seems bad. It feels a touch weird that these are numbered. Is there a world in which I'm supposed to decipher these pager codes with these instead of the police codes? Let's try that for a second. 1011 is JK. That's a weird start considering that they basically all start with 1011. But also... No, that's probably intentional. So it'd be like JK. Now, what the heck would 64 be? I guess you could do 1064. So that'd be JFD. This does not seem more promising, to be honest. The dog case thing felt like it's sort of tied in with the calendar and like the dog watching or whatever. What about 6-7? Get out of here! To the Shadow Realm with you. Three. It'd be like JKCCCCC. Like
the
that's
second
nothing.
runner-up in the Miss Teen Oklahoma pageant.
10. Yeah, I don't know. My instinct says even trying to consider this alternate possibility, the police codes seem like they make more sense. Not a lot more sense, but more sense. The quadruple 3 is a little odd, though. Doesn't even seem like there's a hybrid between that and the Morse code that's useful. Might be a walkthrough time. Does anyone have any ideas that aren't walkthrough time? Oh, hang
Still
on.
just the initials, but a number for JK is listed here. I should give them a call.
I shall do it. I shall do it 9 times.
You have reached a numeric pager system. Please enter up to 12 digits and end your message with the pound key.
Oh yeah, now I remember. Lucas used some kind of secret pager code to arrange meetings with his informants. I shouldn't try to leave any messages here until I'm sure I've cracked the code. Hopefully some of the clues here on the desk can help. All right, I think that's everything. I'll gather up all the clues and see if I can make any sense of them.
Okay. Look, it's the assembled clues.
All right, so I know that Lucas used some sort of pager code to set up meetings with his informants, including JK. My objective should be to crack the code and then send a message to JK, posing as Lucas. All of the coded messages seem to begin with 1011. I should start by figuring out what those numbers mean.
Boy, it sure is annoying when you're simultaneously like way ahead of and somehow also behind a game. An experience that I normally only get from Phoenix Wright games, but Kathy Rain has given them a run for their money. I don't know, maybe
Dog watching, huh?
Boy, I'm so super glad that that it will show me the police code book and just like not mean anything, huh? Well, it either means JK or dog case.
Oh, yeah. 10 and 11 match the positions for J and K in the alphabet. That can't be a coincidence. The same letter mapping doesn't seem to be applicable to the rest of the messages, though.
Yeah, worked that out
the
already.
The second part must be encoded differently then. First, there's a simple initial prefix to determine the sender, and then some other representation of the message itself. I should try to craft a message for JK now, requesting a meeting in person. I'll set a goal to arrange a meeting at 2 p.m. in the park, but I'll probably need to send multiple messages to convey that.
Okay, so the 3333 means that the 3 by 4 is 4 times that digit, huh? So if I want to meet this person at the park, then I send 10, 11, 1, 1, 1, 1. But I think I first have to say message for local delivery. So that would be...
Looks like most of these incoming messages start with 10.
It's so confounding what sequence it wants this information in. Does it just want me to, like, I don't know even, like, what part of the message. Does it want me to include JK, or are we assuming that I'm putting JK in?
Sure, the incoming messages start with 1011, but I'm not sure Lucas would use the same prefix in his responses.
See, that's really annoying. Just a little bit of communication goes an extremely long way. Video game with puzzles in it. All you've given me as a prompt is number to send. The whole thing is numbers. If you only want me to do a suffix, then make it clear that I'm not putting that in there, okay? Like, it's only 2 things to try, but giving me a really condescending message when you've been unclear about what you want from me, that is avoidable. You can choose not to be an a-hole.
I know Lucas had multiple informants, so surely they each had some unique identifier? Otherwise, it would be impossible to determine the sender of each message.
I'm sorry, are you drunk? Are you telling me to go back and solve the last step again? I don't understand what you're getting at.
No, I think the first part is wrong. I already figured out that the 1011 prefix means JK. I think I need to mirror that somehow. Lucas Longhorn. Why'd you have to make this so difficult?
Alright, that would have been the next thing I would guess, but I feel like if I'm the common connection between them, then like I don't need the same level of crypticness. It's just like another inexplicable, unnecessary logical leap. So do you just want this?
Yes. 1212 would represent LL, Lucas's initials.
EE.
In the same way that 1011 corresponds to JK. I'm not sure about the rest of the message, though.
There's honest to God a real puzzle in here, but like they've just taken this weird belabored approach that like tries to like hold your hand and also push you off a cliff.
1212 should be the correct prefix, and the numbers after that match one of the 10 codes in the police manual. But I'm not sure I'd convey what I want with this specific 10 code.
$10.25, report in person. Feels conspicuous that it's marked with parentheses meat. But like do you understand what's frustrating about this? Is that they give you all of these numbers, and I went to the trouble to decipher them on my own to try and understand what the message was. And then it doesn't matter. Like, that information isn't useful to you. You only need the book. I feel like there's a less frustrating way to suggest that you do this.
Yes. 1025 should convey that I want to arrange a meeting in person. I'll send that to JK's pager and see if I can get a response.
You need to mark the location you want. The one thing the game was clear about conveying is that I should expect to do multiple messages. And from the other ones, I think the idea was to prompt them and then tell them 1212 1111.
Got a response. 10-4. That must mean acknowledged.
So now I say...
Another one. 10-20,000. Not sure what to make of that one, but I have a feeling that they want me to respond.
Location. So I need to send... I mean, when he sent a message to Lucas, it was just his identifier and the location. So I think all I'm doing is 12121111. I don't think I have to bother with stating location.
Yes, that should work. If the list on the post-it is correct, I think that this is the way to tell them that I'd like to meet at the park.
$10.4.
Good. Another acknowledgement.
It's really weird to me how it's keeping track of this. Also, the fact that there's this whole interface means we might have to do it more than once. So, like, I feel like I've demonstrated I understood what we were going for, but, like, there's something I really don't like about this approach that's, like, really hard for me to articulate, where, like... And I think it's somehow indicative of, like, the greater, like, puzzle creation mentality of all of Kathy Rain, where it, like... It's all, like, leaps and bounds of, like... Either I'm like really far ahead of where Kathy's logic is, and it's hard for me to even figure out how to like start connecting the dots to get her where I'm at, or the opposite, which is usually fueled by the game assuming I'll make some incredible leap of logic that I personally don't feel like makes very much sense. Oh, hang on, that's a big one. JK.
And a query once again, it looks like.
1036.
If we've settled on the park as a location, what's this now?
Correct time. I'm guessing. Oh no, 000 is question mark. Right. So 1036 question mark. So he wants to know the time. So I need to send 2 p.m. How do I do time? Probably like military time. Yeah, he's got like military times written here. Oh, right. 1500 cafe. Yeah. So probably military time. So then I just respond 1400?
Yes, that should work.
See, I understand it. They just made it really frustrating to get here.
$10.76. IE en route. Perfect. I should head to the park and try to find JK.
Maybe he'll give me a fishing line with a magnet on it or something. I cracked the pager code. That's good for an achievement. But the achievement's not good for something good. It's really funny to me that all of that was to establish a meeting at a location I've never been to before. Like, there's something weird about that, too. There's a little bit of a woo, isn't it? Whew. Okay, problem. I don't know what JK looks like. I'm gonna assume it's... You know what? This feels like a really good time to save. JK 10-4. I should tase her.
Itchy trigger finger much?
Okay. Talk to sitting woman?
Hey there. Are you JK?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Try this taser again?
Itchy trigger.
Okay. I don't really have anything that identifies me as, like, Lucas's bro, huh?
No. I can smell that thing from here.
Look at all that trash.
Pollution galore. Go for a swim, and you're liable to grow another limb.
Cassidy's leave. Lake area?
Pollution.
Okay, so that's all the TV there is. How do
I tried that. I shouldn't bother her again unless I have a reason to think she's the person I'm looking for.
Okay. Bold of me to assume in 1998 this person has a cell phone. I guess it might set off their beeper?
You have reached a numeric pager system.
Let's cut the charade. I heard that thing beep in your pocket. You're JK.
That's so. Who am I talking to?
I'm Kathy. Lucas couldn't be here. He sent me on his behalf.
I suppose if she came here, then she must not know that he's dead. It is a decision to not be forthright about that immediately. What if you take out the bullets and threaten to throw them if she doesn't answer you? If only there was some sort of tool, something that shot bullets really, really fast. Then I'd be unstoppable. Unfortunately, nothing like that exists.
No, he didn't. We both know he's dead.
Wow, okay, if you do know that he's dead, it's really weird that you showed up here.
All right, I guess you caught me. Why'd you even come if you knew I wasn't him?
Wouldn't you? Part of me wanted to believe the poor bastard faked his own death.
Faked his death under those circumstances? That seems odd.
I wish. I was there when he died. A suspect, killed him, and I nearly caught her.
You mean some sort of water gun, but for bullets? I mean, yeah, it'd be something like that. But, like, as far as I know, that technology doesn't exist.
She? It wasn't Andrea Hall, was it?
Andrea Hall. A hall is a room.
No, at least, I don't think so. This woman used the name Faith Cyrene. Who is Andrea Hall?
That sounds made up. A bunch of the names in this game sound made up, in
A
fairness.
senior at KCU. Lucas asked me to trace a motorcycle for him and...
And what?
No. Damn it. I've already said too much. We shouldn't be
A new
discussing
supervillain in
this.
town called the Banker.
Well, it could be a new supervillain. That would explain the murder and all that. The thematic motorcycle as well. Very 90s. I mean, like, what, like, cartoon show didn't have, like, a special motorcycle to make into a toy, right? Yes, the hall is an
Shall we
orange
sculpt some
in
flesh
particular.
friends then?
Look, the damage is done. You already gave me a name. If I wanted to rat you out to the chief or whatever, I could.
Oh, honey. I'm not trying to protect myself. I'm looking out for you.
But who does number 2 work for?
Me? You don't even know me. Why do you care?
Because Lucas did. He stood up for me when no one else would. I owe that man a great deal.
If anything, he'd want me to solve the case and destroy that harpy for what she did to him.
No, I don't think so. He loved you like a daughter.
Beep.
You know that, right?
Fuck off. Don't tell me that. Don't you think I feel bad enough already?
I don't think that's what we're doing here, but okay. You can just take it that way.
That's what grief is supposed to feel like, hon. You're in a bad way, and I won't help you get yourself killed. Now go on. Get out of here.
Well, will you at least help me get Lucas's gun? Or at least contact Mr. Everard?
This lady can go to hell. She doesn't know Lucas. She doesn't know shit.
This is a thing I do actually really like about Kathy Rain. There was like a point in the last game where something similar happened too, where she like clearly like lost objectivity, but you still had to kind of keep going. Oh, I
At
can't
least I
call
gotta leave
JK
out
ever
this.
again, huh?
Andrea Hall, whoever she is. Guess it's time to head over to the university.
University? I'm just gonna randomly go to the college with a name and hope for the best? That's stupid. I'm gonna go back to Lucas's office and cross-reference with his address book like I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to. Assuming I still can with the desk in, like, puzzle-solving
Nothing,
mode?
but that makes sense. He hadn't heard back from JK yet, so he probably didn't have Andrea's name.
Okay. Or you could go see Eileen, you know, for the case. I really appreciate that chat is enabling me super hard. I said something earlier about how, like, this is a reinforcement that we're all together on the same page in the right place. I do worry that you're being a bad influence on me, though, but I am,
Hey, hey!
in a lot of ways, I'd say I'm not easily influenced, but I think I'm easily coerced into doing, like, something I'm really probably already gonna do anyway. Do you happen to know Andrea
Can
Hall?
I talk to you for a sec?
She's probably Jane Doe.
What's up?
So, I found out that Lucas's investigation led to a college student called Andrea Hall.
Interesting. What's her link to the case?
That's what I'm trying to find out. A motorcycle that Lucas was tracking down led to her, but I don't know much more than that.
I see. Well, let's see what you can learn today then, and we can discuss your findings tonight.
Over rom-com and some hand-holding?
All right. Okie dokie.
Okie dokie. Can we take a moment to appreciate Eileen's shoes and possibly socks? I mean, they good. You have, is there a particular, we just want to appreciate that they're good? They are good.
Hey, hey!
Hey, E!
I wonder what she's doing on my computer all day. The pixel art, it's hard to tell where one begins and the other ends. It's because they're a beautiful fusion of all good things. They're colorful and exactly what I would expect her to wear. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Go to Go to the college. KSU. Killer State University. Killer Serial University.
Come in.
Okay. Wow, we sure did a bunch of hand waving here, huh?
Yeah.
Is she my sister? Like, what's going on here?
Hey there. I'm looking for Andrea.
Is this your idea of a joke?
No? Why do you say that?
You don't recognize me, do you?
Oh, wait. You came to my office a couple weeks ago, didn't you?
Uh-huh. I needed your help with my missing roommate. You can probably guess her name.
Oh, kind of drawing a blank. Is it,
He's the personification of Max's superego.
Or...
Desuhigo Thunderbolt.
Agent Norman Jaden, FBI.
Possibly...
George Clooney.
Is your roommate George Clooney?
Oh.
Civil pandemic,
That
licensed
is
psychotherapist.
Mama, of course.
This was so worth the effort. It was an incredible waste of time. Like, an unbelievable waste of time. But I knew I would be able to make use of this forever.
Better late than never. I still can't pay your greedy PI fees, though, so you might as well fuck off again.
That's fine.
Sorry about that, but I'm running a business. Another case led me here. I'm not looking to get paid.
Look at the skull wearing a ska
I just
band
need
hat.
a few moments of your time, if that's okay.
Figures. Well, fine. Come in, then.
Skull wearing a ska band hat. Oh, yeah. There he is, right in the middle there, huh? On the closet door? For some reason, I thought you were, like, talking about her necklace. Ska skull, if you will. I'll allow it. So wait a minute. When did we determine this was? Like, May? And she's got, like, a string of, like, bat decorations up? She's really committed to being as goth as possible. Except she also seems to have imported, Harry Potter. She's got kind of a Gryffindor scarf going on here. A little bit of a Freddy Krueger bedspread. That might actually be intentional. I like her, like, skeletal pillow.
Thanks. What's your name again?
I think it was...
Trixie, the giraffe neck girl from Scranton.
Yeah, got it in one. That's definitely it.
Rebecca Dawson.
Oh, well, I was close, though.
All right. I'm Kathy, but I guess you know that.
I do. Let's talk.
Her Dragon Ball Z poster. Or reasonable approximation thereof. Do you know about Rachel Wang?
Does the name Rachel Wang mean anything to you?
No, that's no one I know.
What about Rachel's lover - discharged?
I don't want to ask her about that. What do you know about Jane Doe, the fourth Soothsayer victim?
No more than what's in the papers. That goes for the other victims, too.
Lol, Lamau even. You might actually know something about scrying mirrors.
What do you know about scrying mirrors?
Hardly anything, beyond the obvious connection to the Soothsayer.
Okay. What do you know about the King of Kings Catholic Church?
Are you familiar with the King of Kings Catholic Church?
Never heard of it.
What about the Azure Sky Motel?
Do you know the Azure Sky Motel?
No, I don't know that place.
It's actually baffling to me that this has been on my notebook for so long. I'm not sure a single person has answered the affirmative about knowing anything about that stupid motel. Have you heard of Pyre?
Have you ever heard of a drug called Pyre?
No, I'm not a drug user.
Do you know Tabitha Caldwell, actual witch?
Do you know who Tabitha Caldwell is?
No, I don't know her.
Hey, let's take a moment to appreciate the reality of this situation, as we must do when playing adventure games from time to time. So evidently, before the events of this game, this woman came to our office and asked for our help locating her roommate, and we were like, lol, we need money to live because we live in a capitalist society, Lamau. And she got big mad and left. And then, like, a few weeks later, I'm like, hey, so I'm looking for this lady whose name is your missing roommate. And she's like, you idiot. So mad. And then I'm like, well, now I'll help you for free. So let me ask you a bunch of questions. And then I just ask her, like, a series of names that she's never heard of. Like, I feel like she would have shot me by now. She would have taken the bullets out of my pocket and used the intense rage just to emotionally charge the bullet to fire out of its casing and kill us.
Do you recognize the name Corey Finnegan? He also goes by the moniker Phase.
Afraid not. I don't know that guy.
Are you familiar with
Agent Norman Jaden, FBI?
I'm trying to find a park ranger named Victor Cooper. Do you know him?
I'm kind of sad that we're no longer asking people like, I'm trying to locate a drug dealer. Long pause. Some description to follow.
No, I'm not much for the outdoors.
Do you know a Faith Cyrene? She's supposed to have some form of facial scars.
Nope. I'd remember a person like that.
This might be a random question, but Andrea didn't have any facial scars, did she?
I mean, considering the way she just answered that question, that seems like a really stupid follow-up question.
No, not any obvious ones at least. Why?
Oh, nothing. Just a wild idea. Can you tell me about Andrea's disappearance?
Sure. Basically, she took off on her motorcycle one night and never came back. Didn't say where she was going or why.
She was a biker, huh? What kind of motorcycle are we talking about?
Well, it was black.
Got there.
Pretty big, looked kind of sporty. I think she said it was imported from Japan.
Got it, yeah. I happened to see one just like it a few days ago. Please, continue.
Yeah, so, at first, I wasn't worried about Andrea. Suddenly leaving for a day or two wasn't unusual for her. After a week, though, I felt that I had to file a missing persons report. Total waste of time, that was.
I can relate. Cassidy cops aren't a reliable bunch. And then you reached out to me?
Yes. Tried every PI in town. Maybe I was naive to think I could afford any of them, but I felt I had to do something.
This is a fun question. Anyone have any idea what kind of rate you would expect from a private investigator? It's not something I've really thought about. So I feel like I could fall into this trap too, I guess.
That plan obviously didn't pan out either. Weeks passed, and after a certain point, I had to let things go. There was only so much I could do.
How long has she been missing?
How long has Andrea been missing?
About a month, I think.
That's a few. That's a couple of them.
Wait, so she disappeared around the end of April?
Is that coincide with Jane Doe? Because I'm pretty sure it's Jane Doe, as established earlier when I said that.
Sounds about right. Why?
That's when they found Jane Doe, one of the Soothsayer victims.
Yeah. Hall is a room. I mean, it is kind of debatable though, right? By Blueprint's rules, obviously Hall is a room. But like, some might argue that a hall is like the absence of room. It's the connective tissue that makes the rooms possible. In the late 90s, you would think $50 to $100 per day plus retainer. Yeah, that's pretty out of reach for a college student, I would think. By Clue rules, also Hall is a room. I think that's true. It's been a minute since I've played Clue. I was like, when you're like on desktop Twitch, it'll like give you a bunch of alerts for like garbage you don't need to know. And like recently they've been pushing, I forget what the name of the thing is, like Viva or something, which is some new like social gaming platform kind of thing. Like I think you like use some device to like play something on the screen, and then you like use mobile device. I think it's a little like Jackbox, at least some of the implementations of it. And Clue was listed on there, and that seemed interesting. I can't immediately think of an application that I would use that for, but it's interesting to know that's there, because Clue is a pretty good game. And for those of you who are in the UK, which is specifically Neko, you may also know that game as Cluedo. By the way, if you have more of those 35% off thingies, you should turn it on. The 35% off thingies? Remind me what you're talking about.
Oh,
Continue.
yeah, I read about that, but the age is wrong. Andrea's 22, and the paper said 18.
Interesting. Not about gifting 10 subs to get the 100 free bits. Oh, gotcha. That is not something I have control over. That is just something that Twitch has been doing, and I think there was a time limit on it, and we may finally have passed it. But if it's not active, then it's just not. Yeah, I thought it was 250. Although I do actually think it was saying that at the start of the stream. Do you know of some place I'd be able to go to actively turn that on? I think it might have given that alert at the start of the stream.
Rebecca, there's a margin of error. The later paper said early 20s.
Oh no. How could I be so blind? It's her. It's gotta be her.
So I should thank you for gifting 2 subs to Ditto Transform and Savannah Grace here. Thank you for the bits. Doing math and science, God's work.
We don't know that for sure, but yeah, things don't look great. Andrea is not a local, is she?
Far from it. She came from Australia.
Hey, here's a serious question. So considering the rapid turnaround that this game expects from you to first learn Andrea Hall's name and then figure out who Andrea Hall is, and like because you do that without any sort of advanced outside knowledge, what is the purpose of the vision with Jane Doe telling you that her name is a rune? Like, it doesn't seem to add anything to the game. I guess it's a little spooky. It just feels weird from like a intersection of narrative and puzzle solving perspective.
That would explain the lack of dental records too.
Fuck. We need to tell the cops all of this, don't we?
We do, but let me handle that, okay? I have more evidence to share with them.
Okay. God damn it, Andrea.
Well, hey, look, we saved her a bunch of money. We figured out that her roommate was burned to death by a serial killer. Win-win, right? What happened when you filed that report?
What happened when you filed that police report?
Well, they didn't take me seriously at all. I told them the truth about Andrea, and they immediately dismissed her as voluntarily missing, like she was some stupid teen runaway.
I mean, that kind of happens a lot, doesn't it? Katie, thank you for the 99-month resub. What does a vegetarian use when they get a flat tire? A spare, I guess. There you go. I figured out how to change those settings so I can hear that now, which I haven't been able to do for like 2.5 years or something. Something I had forgotten that I did. It was something I incidentally encountered while trying to solve the getting StreamerBot to play the name game sound effects.
They never even bothered to come and look at her stuff.
Birthday?
I don't, did they? I'm not sure that they did, but, DM on Discord with details. Hang on. Hold on. Hold, please. Let's do it live. Why not? Probably do it from this one. Disrupts less stuff. Creator dashboard. This thing. And then this thing. And then what? Enroll your channel in promotions where viewers are offered discounts, which you share with Twitch. Well, I wouldn't make any money on the promotion that would otherwise be disabled, so okay. Wait. How do I... Promotion duration required. How about we go with 48 hours covered today and tomorrow? Or does it make more sense to do like... I don't know. I think it makes more sense to do, I think, one instance of this I don't think it counts one stream. I mean, it goes up to like 70 hours. It tells me how many hours are remaining. Ah, okay, so it does vary. So what does it take to get us to like the end of tomorrow's stream? That'd be like 25 hours out of 70? Sure. Something like this. Start it. 6 promos. Oh, no, wait a minute. There's some like math and science that could be applied here. Oh wait, someone's birthday somewhere. That's so true. Set it up for tomorrow. Let's set it up for tomorrow. I think that reduces the amount of math and science that has to go into this. Don't remind me to do it at the start of the stream. I'll do a few hours and see how that factors against the 70 hours it suggests. I'm assuming that's a total pool for the maximum, like, 7 promotions or something. Not math and science. I know, I only came here to solve puzzles. Okay, we're playing the game, don't worry about it. Andrea? The problem isn't that you suggested it. The problem is that, like, when I'm approached with a problem that feels solvable, I, like, start tuning out other stuff and start working on it. Which I know should feel obvious to those of you who watch me play puzzle games, but there's like a shocking number of puzzle games that like don't actually invoke that. Like, I mean, arguably we got there to like a lesser extent by doing the pager puzzle in this stream, but like the vast majority of Kathy Raid is like not about that kind of puzzle. Some parts of Blueprints are, not that many games really do it. So Andrea sometimes goes MIA, right?
So Andrea has had a tendency to disappear from time to time?
Yeah. She's been known to hang out in some sketchy circles. People who like to party hard.
I apparently have all of the currently available hype train emotes, but thank you for the hype train. She's known to hang out in sketchy circles, ones that are hand-drawn. She likes to party hard, so I assume she was offered pyre, huh?
Ah, drugs were involved?
The 3 biggest problems software developers face are naming conventions and off-by-one errors.
Yes.
That's good. I like
all
that.
All kinds.
Who were those sketchy people then? Got any names?
Was one of them...
Tessa, also known as ASET.
Or perhaps...
What if it's a Kotori Bako?
Ooh, yeah, maybe they were involved in some occult happenings. Or maybe it was just...
Trixie, the giraffe neck girl from Scranton.
Oh, no, and I'm pretty sure that's you.
No, I didn't want anything to do with that crowd.
What was Andrea
Falco.
like? Was she single?
Named for the Falcon. Let's call him F.
Yeah, are you familiar with a guy we'll shorthand to F?
What was Andrea like?
She was brilliant. A born engineer, obsessed with technology, computers, and tinkering with all of her little gadgets. But she wasn't weird or awkward like so many smart people are, you know?
So hurt.
She understood people.
So hurt at being called out, maybe.
She could explain the most complicated things so anyone could understand.
Sounds like a woman with a bright future ahead of her. I have a feeling it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows, though.
Frankly, to me, she sounds like a sassy pharmacist. Like, you would name an activity and she would explain the rules and then we could do that activity?
No. She had a self-destructive side, too. I think she saw herself as a thing to push to the limit, just like her machines.
Okay.
Her micro machines?
Can you elaborate?
They still make micro machines? I feel like they don't, right?
Well, she didn't care much for her health. It felt almost like she found it insulting to be limited by a human body with all of its inconveniences.
It's a fun subject after I encountered for the first time in my life something called Serial Experiments Lane, which is basically just that for like 13 anime episodes.
Experimenting with drugs was a part of that, I think.
I see. So, Andrea had a drug problem, did she?
She used drugs, yes. She
Wouldn't
wouldn't
call
call
it a
it a problem, though. She'd say she was in full control, and that narcotics were tools like any other, or instruments to improve performance and expand the mind.
And do you agree with that?
For a superwoman like Andrea? Maybe. She seemed to have a handle on it. But I mean, she had a whole circle of junkie friends, and I have no idea what messed up things they were doing off campus.
And you don't know anything about these junkie friends of hers?
No. I tried to keep a healthy distance from those people.
If you know so little about them, how do you know they were even junkies?
Trust me. I grew up in Cassidy. I've seen meth heads on the street since kindergarten.
Yeah, point taken.
I think that's all the questions I have.
I know this is difficult, but we need to talk about the possibility of Jane Doe being Andrea.
I submit that we already have did that.
Such a horrible way to go. I wish I had anything useful to say about it.
So nothing you know about the murder connects in any way to Andrea or her habits?
I don't think so. Sure, she went to Constance Hill from time to time, but so does every other college kid, right?
I guess so, yeah. So you're not aware of anyone in particular that she'd hang out with there?
Well, there was a guy named Soothsayer who was a little violent from time to time, but no one who I think would be relevant to this discussion.
No one comes to mind. Sorry.
What do you know about the Soothsayer?
Just what's been reported in the media. I truly hope Andrea isn't that poor girl.
That movie just came out, didn't it?
Yeah, my dad got me the poster. He's in the business.
He did something like that in the first game, too. Like, Eileen had, like, a pre-release Titanic poster in her room. Emotion points out that this is Edward Scissorhands. I was not totally sure.
I don't want to ask her about... Pretty good horror flick over there. Scared my friend shitless with it.
Oh, sure. I prefer the 1973 original, though.
Don't tell me you're one of those people.
You don't know the half of it. My dad's a film director. In our family, it's mandatory to be a connoisseur.
Heading home to your folks for the summer?
Yep. God forbid I won't let Mom fatten me up for next semester.
That bad, huh? I don't want to ask her about...
I want to ask her about her school supplies.
Love the vest.
Oh, thanks. Made it myself from Mom's old leather jacket.
Oh, that's neat. I don't want to ask... I see that KCU still provides god-awful closet space.
Tell me about it. Andrea and I had our share of squabbles about that.
Before she was burned to death.
I don't want to ask her about that.
Can't hear any more about these cables.
I don't want to ask... I don't want to ask her.
So many hotspots.
I don't want to ask... I don't want to ask... I don't want to...
God, is any of this going to be relevant? Is any of this on
That's
the
all
test?
for now, thanks. Mind if I have a look at some of Andrea's things?
Go ahead. I'll take care of some homework.
Man, can you imagine trying to, like, be productive and get work done while, like, some stranger is rummaging through your roommate's stuff because you thought she burned to death? I can't because I've been there, like, 3 times, but
Clothes
I promise I
and
got
motorcycle
exonerated each time.
I don't see anything out of the ordinary. What a mess. There are lots of entangled cables of different types and sizes.
Every man has one of these boxes. It's been with him his whole life. Very little in the box will be useful, but he keeps it nonetheless.
If I knew what I was looking for, I might be able to dig up something useful from here.
Okay, I see what we're going for. It says, after just finding out her friend was the victim of a serial killer, she's not doing homework. Yeah, I'm not sure if she was before, but I'm inclined to agree she's not doing it now.
Looks like Andrea was taking something apart here. A hard drive, I think.
Doja says, this is my box. It was made for me. There are many like it, but this one is mine.
I hear magnets like these are quite strong for their size. Might come in handy.
It's still true that nobody knows how they work, but they do work, and they'll help me pick up the gun in the way that every adventure game with a similar concept to this one has worked in the past. Maybe I need some cables to extend the magnet down to the gun?
What a mess. If I knew what I... Zodkill, a classic.
I was gonna say, I thought that was
monster movie
Godzilla.
and some popcorn right about now. Might help me forget about the monsters in the real world.
think we're gonna have to do the same thing from the first game? I mean, we probably still don't have the boot floppy disk or whatever. No, as far as I know, we don't have that
This
disk.
looks like some serious encryption. I better head back to the office and see what I can learn about that.
I love that she's like, my goodness, it requires a single password. It's like Fort Knox in here. Better call Hacker Dave. It was something like that. I think maybe that is right. Maybe it's just Hacker Dave.
Damn, impressive setup. Andrea must be a hi-fi aficionado. Remind Mom to clean Dreddy's terrarium.
Dreddy?
Maybe Andrea has some kind of pet reptile back with her folks?
Maybe Dreddy is a nickname for her younger brother.
Just your average schedule. Nothing but classes and school events noted here. Various gadgets, gizmos, and doohickeys. Yes, I've been known to take science classes.
I like that when I back out of the computer, you can see that there's text on the screen. It's attention to detail these games don't always necessarily have.
Andrea's CD collection. There are a lot of records by Sunbeat, Route 6, and Perplex. Reggae music, based on the covers and song titles. University textbooks. Technical for the most part.
It's true, she does have this small poster.
Looks like some Rastafari thing. I suppose Andrea was into that stuff.
I can't comment on the greetings, alien.
There's a spool of metal wire here. I could probably find a good use for that.
I feel like wire and magnet is pretty close to getting my gun back. Mr. Everett will be pleased. It's always a question as to like how pedantic an adventure game wants to be about solving a puzzle like that. Which one is it? It's Crash Side. Night King, thanks for stopping by. God knows how much longer we'll be playing.
All right, that
Not
should hold
pedantic.
nicely.
Not pedantic at all. Look over there, it's a three-headed monkey. I'm gonna be so mad when all I get is a crossbow. Gotta be a pretty strong magnet, I would think.
I've reloaded it too. I'm ready for action now.
You're wondering why I saved. I'm gonna start using the gun on everything now.
Itchy trigger finger much?
Just get stuck on the drainage pipe. That seems like what would happen IRL. I still have the magnet, huh? That's a little interesting. Guess I can go see Ranger... What's-his-face? Ranger Rick? Is that something? Those like those, right? Although... Wasn't it kind of implied I can, like, have Eileen talk about computer smarts?
Hey, hey!
Hey, E!
I love you. I mean, hi.
Can I talk to you for a sec?
Sure.
So, I found out that Lucas's investigation led to a college student called Andrea Hall.
I believe she burned to death by being the victim of a serial killer.
Interesting. What's her link to the case?
Well, apparently Lucas was tracing a motorcycle tied to Andrea. Here's the kicker, though. The description of the bike sounded identical to the one that Faith Cyrene escaped on.
Huh. That's a clear connection between this student and Faith, then. Keep me posted.
We not going to talk about the fact she burned to death? I guess we're not doing that.
Do you know anything about hard drive encryption?
A little, I suppose. What are the specifics?
Basically, the whole computer is encrypted and it prompts a password when I boot it up. Is there any way to bypass that?
Gonna have to go through the BIOS.
Oh, that's tough. Maybe the computer book I bought for the office last year could be useful?
Oh, right. Remind me, where did we put that?
Oh, for God's sake, what a bad puzzle. What's her link to the case? Her name is Arun, duh, right?
It's
right?
on the shelf behind you, Kathy. are you getting good use out of the book collection I set up in the office?
Yep.
You haven't even touched those books, have you?
Maybe once or twice.
Too busy watching
All
Lidsville.
right. Okay. Ah, here's the book Eileen mentioned. Excellent.
For that cheating
There
I
are a few
mentioned
pages
earlier.
about the type of encryption I saw at KCU.
How do you know that it's the... Okay. Includes software CD. Thanks the entire 90s. Ah, crap. Well, a secure type of hard drive encryption is when the boot process itself is encrypted, denying access to the entire operating system without the correct password. However, a noticeable weakness of this model is a physical fly-wire connection to a secondary computer with a DMA, direct memory access, enabled in the target BIOS settings. In that scenario, any common memory utility can be used to eavesdrop on the memory contents of the boot encryption when the decryption process is in progress on target machine. With the right know-how, it is possible to identify the password in the memory feed, extract the related data, and crack it with a decryption program. Note, for educational purposes, the CD distributed with this book contains copies of MemStack and Descrambler Elite.
It's too soon for that part. I should focus on the earlier steps.
Boot passwords in memory. The encrypted representation of a boot password in a memory feed can be identified by searching for a distinct encryption signature. These signatures differ for each encryption software, but commonly follow a basic structure. 4-digit software identifier, version number of the software, memory chip serial number, format AAAA, BBBB, CCCC, CCCC. A few common encryption identifiers: IronCrypt, SecVault, Hexproofer, RazorCrypt. So, for example, when using IronCrypt version 1.2.3.4 with serial number 987654, the full signature would be 031F12349876554. You're all keeping up, I assume. Well, this minigame is going to be a whole lot of not fun. Yes, agreed, yes. This is another, like, consistent element of, like, you know what the scope of puzzles in the Kathy Rain games kind of make me feel like? They remind me of the trait that the character Winston has on the TV show New Girl, where, like, they eventually sort of establish that he really likes doing pranks but is really bad at them because he either does them, like, way too severely, like putting people's, like, health in jeopardy, or they're, like, so pointless that, like, no one would ever be affected by them. So, like, I feel like the games are either, like, they're either these, like, hopelessly over-tuned, like, mini-games trying to replicate some real-life problem-solving, or they're, like, nothing at all. If this 14-digit pattern is identified in its entirety in the active PC memory, the relevant memory section can be saved to a file and decrypted with an appropriate decryption utility. Thanks for reading. Enjoy the complimentary software CD, courtesy of the generous open source community. Take care and good luck, or as the kids say these days, lol, lead speak.
This should be useful. Looks like I need to get my hands on a second computer.
Files are in the computer.
First things first, I need another computer.
Loves mess arounds. It's true. Winston does love a classic mess around.
Eileen's laptop. She's using it to hack into Faith's Irene's cell phone.
And you know what else? It's a computer, you idiot.
The computer book outlined a technique for using a second computer to crack hard drive encryption. This laptop might come in handy for that. I could ask E about it.
This feels like an unnecessary step to the process. I feel like I could automatically have her respond to this.
Can I talk to you for a sec?
Sure.
Do you know anything about hard drive encryption?
A little, I suppose. What are the specifics?
Basically, the whole computer.
Oh, that's tough.
Looks that way.
Should be doable then. Anything I can do to help?
Well, it just so happens I need a second computer, and I noticed this laptop you've got here.
I suppose I could make do without that for a while, but just bring it back in one piece, will you? It wasn't cheap.
One Piece, that's the name of the treasure on the Grand Line. Also, I love you.
Why? Have I ever...
Yes! 4 times!
No.
Fair enough.
We're gonna explode her laptop, aren't we? Like, for real.
All right, there we go. I've got the laptop set up. Time to deal with the next steps in the book.
Ready for this?
The applications mentioned here look useful. I should install them on the laptop.
Alright. What's going on here? Oh, this implies the other screen. Weird. Descrambler elite! What? Use gun on laptop. You know. Maybe. No. Okay.
I'm done with this part. It's too soon for that part. It's too soon. It's too soon. I'm done with this.
That's interesting. I'm done with this part, and it's too soon for the next part. So I think what I take away from that is... Nope. After presentation of boot disk can be identified by searching for a distinct signature. They differ for each encryption software, but commonly follow this structure. Down.
No need to change that setting.
I wasn't even aware I was doing that. Little DMA and BIOS. Is that in the book, or are you using real knowledge on this? Oh, hang on. Secondary computer with DMA. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This one enabled. Close this. Enter to edit and confirm. Okay. Edit. Okay. Interface is weird. Got there. So now...
It's too soon for...
Okay, now... Magnet on computer. Interesting. Capture failed. Cable disconnect. Okay, so it does want me to actually cable.
Ah. Here's that type of cable that was mentioned in the computer book.
Man, this sure is tedious.
It's pretty short as far as cables go, but it...
Dude, if you want me to, like, crimp my own cable or something, I'm gonna uninstall this video game and file a lawsuit.
Alright, all hooked up. Alright, I should be done with all the setup for the hack now. Coming up next, capturing the password. I should have a look in the next section of the book.
Oh boy.
Alright, so I need to assemble the memory signature following the format outlined in these pages. I think I can find all the information I need on Andrea's computer, despite the lack of a password.
Be a lot of back and forth. Use taser on computer. I like this creative problem solving. Roommate just knows the password. That makes me think of that joke at the end of season 1 of Telltale Sam and Max, where you like go to Bosco and ask him for like a highly specific item that would have solved like the main problem in each of the previous chapters. And like, even though the running joke throughout the season had been like, do you have any like insanely specific thing? No. And you would just keep doing that over and over. In like the last chapter, you ask him for things that would have been really helpful, and he's like, yep, I have that. I have that too. I have that as well. Yes, I have that. Okay, so serial number in channel A is 421162. I'm not sure. Can I trust the video game to somehow No, I might need to do that manually. I'm just gonna write it down in case I have to do that manually. 421162. I need... So that is... That's my C. That's my memory chip serial number, I think. Common encryption identifiers. Is that something I'm supposed to see on this page or on the main boot up? I also need the version number, right? The version number. It also might be on startup, maybe? I don't know. (1012) Sec Vault. 112. Is that everything I need? That might be everything I need. Sec Vault 1A2B. And then this is version. Okay, so for example, that if this is identified in its entirety in the active PC memory, the relevant memory section can be saved to a file and decrypted with the appropriate decryption utility. Okay. So I want this. Boy, I don't love that, like, we didn't account for the fact that our inventory, like, covers this. Is this what I'm putting in, though? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That doesn't seem right. Start capture. Maybe it's just start capture? I don't, the book isn't, like, crazy clear. Okay. Filter halts on match. Is that where it wants me? So, like, the book doesn't, like...
I'm done.
Tell me how in the software I would...
Alright, so I need to assemble the memories. I think I can find all the information I need.
I mean, I got it. You haven't made it, like, ridiculously clear to me where in your fictional hacking process I put this signature pattern identifier. Like, maybe I just typed that crap in here. It could be clearer. A, 2B. This feels promising. 1012. 421 162. Okay, so that isn't it somehow. Not inclined to use, like, super clear as a way of describing the input I'm getting from the game in the use of its own. Oh boy. I have to admit that I don't know what I'm doing. There's specifically a 1A, 2B, and there's multiple of those. But none of them link directly into... I don't know what I'm doing, gang. 421162? No, not at all. 42? No. Alright, I hate it here. Password, signature, and dump. Don't talk about my dump that way. We try just typing the whole thing in, saving capture, dragging it, and seeing if that does the desired result. This does not give the impression that it will give the result I want, but that's just...
I don't need to mess. I already installed.
I feel like if this game would just be forthright about what it wanted here, we could have a good time. But instead we're doing this. Wow, it's really annoying how close that is to being correct. But it's not. It's off by like 3 digits. Is the idea that I just keep hitting start capture until it does what I want? Till I does what it do? It doesn't seem to... It seems like I can either capture from the BIOS or from the boot attempt. If I look at my book, is there a way to clarify how I'm doing that, stupid? If this is identified in its entirety in the active PC memory, the relevant memory section can be saved to a file and decrypted with an appropriate decryption utility. No, that doesn't really answer my question. Turning the other computer off, and then back on while start capture is running. Does that work even? I guess it is currently start capture, right? So if we... Okay, no, I think I at least understand the goal here, huh? Filter halts on match. Okay. Okay, let's try this again then. Start capture, off, on again. Over. And it should halt if it finds this exact sequence? Yes, maybe? I did stop the capture before. Okay. That was not intuitive. The concept I understand. If you're gonna give me a series of steps for how to do your highly intense fictional process, you could mention this. Descramble?
Damn. The decryption isn't an automated process.
Of course it isn't.
I still have to try different passwords against the encryption hash. After each attempt, the utility will spit out some information about how close I was to the right password, though.
Oh my god. Well, are you not entertained, Katane? Is this not what you were hoping this would be?
We're dealing with a 7-character password, including a mix of numbers, lower and uppercase letters.
Well, it's not butthole or hog turd at only 7 characters.
I should have a look around the room. Maybe I can find some 7-letter words to put me on the right track.
What's the fictional Godzilla called?
Zodkill, a classic.
Yeah, I'm gonna start with Zodkill. Seven incorrect. All right, not what I was expecting. Oh, it needs 2 lowercase, 2 uppercase, 3 numeric. Interesting though that none of those letters are in it. Mostly like not a lot of Oh, wait a minute.
Andrea's CD collection. There are a lot of records by Sunbeat, Route 6, and Perplex. Reggae music, based on the covers and song titles.
Route 6 is calling out to me. That feels like something. Two uppercase, huh? So this won't be exactly it. Unless, like... one is in the wrong case. Only 1 letter overlaps out of all that garbage? What about boobies? I mean, if it was a guy in the 90s, that would definitely have to be it. So it also means that neither 0 nor 1 are the numbers, huh? Actually, you know what?
I'm done.
This last page is probably like specifically something of a hint about...
I wonder if Andrea was into hacker lingo like this.
Yeah. So it's probably got like, I guess like 4. It's probably got 3 and or 4 in it, because this is probably meant to help you, a person in the modern day who doesn't care about leet speak, understand how this works. And I narrowed out 0 and 1, having already tried that. Eight, 6, 7, 5, 3, 0, 9. One of them Sun something?
University.
Yeah.
Andrea's CD collection. There are a lot of records by Sunbeat,
and
Route 6, and Perplex.
Have a 3 and a
Reggae
4
music,
in it.
based on the covers and song titles.
So it could be SUN capital B 34T. Alright, this is pissing me off now. I don't know why that was the camel that broke the... What did I just say? I don't know why that was the camel that broke the straw's back, but there we are.
Andrea's CD collection. There are a lot of records by Sunbeat, Route 6, and Perplex.
I don't know, man. Those like those. That's shockingly close. So the numbers are right. The case is wrong, but one of these is outright incorrect, which is the weirdest part of all. Like 511 is a really weird distribution. Let me try. That's worse. How's that worse? Maybe the X is capital. Okay.
Yes. Got it. Moment of truth. All right, I'm in.
I heard that sound before. Is that an inscription sound? That feels like that's from like a Daniel Mullins game. Part 3. Now we have to deal with the fact she was also dyslexic. Oh man, there was one of the Hallmark Christmas movies we watched. I think it was one that was like technically from last year that was like on their proprietary streaming service that they like moved. The male love interest's daughter had dyslexia, and they treated it like so weird. Like they just had this super weird way of like, well, I guess like now she can't go through school at all kind of vibe to it. There's an achievement called Leak for doing all that. You used one in one of those and it said it was wrong, right? That's the only reason I like didn't start by trying to like leet speak that. I swear like one I put in with a 1 said that nothing was right, but I'm probably just misremembering. But that is what I thought had happened. But I'm glad I'm not the only person who perceived that. Actually, hold on a second.
The old mines, huh?
Sorry. I wanted to make sure I had the dates right. A base of operations in the old mine sounded like a crazy idea, but the more I think about it, the more it makes sense. Those tunnels have been abandoned for decades, but they're sheltered underground, built to last and well preserved. The bones of the complex should have electrical infrastructure, heating, plumbing, and some kind of living quarters. The main problem is hijacking the electrical grid, but it should be doable. The area is remote, and I'll be able to work undisturbed. I just gotta spoof one of those old mechanical meters on the site and make sure the power is supplied from the nearest substation. Easy peasy, much like Okie Dokie. It's like the evil Okie Dokie. There are other problems too, but I welcome the challenge. Finally, a proper project, unlike the brain dead assignments my professors give me.
No, I shouldn't.
No, I want to like mess up the evidence. It'll be funny, I promise. Nope, that's what it said. Well, I feel a little better about that, but also, yay video game. Which it says, Vasco, for Christmas this year, I want a stream of just you reviewing all this year's Hallmark movies. I'll say this, for the first time ever, like many people have suggested I do some kind of Hallmark Christmas movie content. This year, while watching, I've been taking some notes. Particularly, I've been trying to make a note of like 1 or 2 interesting like sound bites that I could try to get from a particular movie, and also like immediately after I finish it I give a letter grade, which is kind of the standard for when my family watches these together, but like also like a really short summary of just like my overall review of the movie, basically like tending to incorporate like vaguely what the plot is, what its strengths and or weaknesses are. I don't know when I would have time to do this or what form it would take. I had some thoughts. I'm not sure it could get done. I'm also not sure that anyone would want to see it. I also think it might warrant starting a separate YouTube channel if I was going to do that. Which I'm not totally sure of. It's so satisfying seeing a plan come to fruition. Boy, some people have never seen or heard of the A-Team, and it really shows. I love it when a series of events comes to fruition. Just think of all the engineering problems I had to solve. Hijacking the power grid, setting up wireless surveillance. Wireless surveillance in 1998? I don't think so. Figuring out the drug synthesis, even the celestial tracking. Man, what a ride. Where would my life be now if she hadn't found me among all the junkies and lowlifes? That would be Faith. When I first met her, it was as if she knew I would be there. It was as if she was looking for me all along. Finally, someone who truly saw me, somebody who understood and respected my potential. To think that a year ago, the biggest thing on my mind was finding the right dose of amphetamines. Pyre is incredible, and we're only just on the second batch. Imagine how powerful it can get with a perfected formula. I didn't realize that. Demolition says his mom and grandma are really into Hallmark movies. I mean, if you're ever looking for a recommendation, I'm always down to give them. But I have slightly more empirical data this year than in years past. There's a unbelievably good joke in A Royal Montana Christmas that, like, if I was going to do any sort of review, I would definitely include that scene near the start of the movie. Someone asks for some coffee and they get an unexpected result. Alright, so back out and get some nonsense.
Not sure what to make of all this, but it sounds like Andrea was in cahoots with the pyre dealers, building some kind of secret base for them.
I'm starting to understand why Kathy is, like, not doing super well as a private detective. Like, I'm not sure the connection could be, like, a whole lot clearer than it is in this document. Like, the first one is like, I need a secret place to do something that sounds maybe illegal. And then the second one is like, I have solved a bunch of logistical problems to make a base for, like, making the drugs. Jesse, we have to cook. And she's like, gosh, I have no idea what this could mean. Just came back from the sanctum, and I am horrified. Pyre isn't what I thought it was. Oh, it's Slurm. Guys, it's Slurm. I regret to inform you that Pyre is Slurm. No, it's a conduit to something terrifying. Something indescribable. That still sounds like Slurm? I think it's Slurm. She can't know, can she? No, Faith wouldn't keep that from me, not after everything we've been through. I have to tell her, and she'll know what to do. Kill you and steal your motorcycle. Am I close? I'll set up a meeting at Constance Hill. I'm pretty sure I'm close, gang. Between here and the hideout. Ooh, that's interesting. Can't go back down in the dark alone again. Can't face what I saw there. XOXO Gossip Girl.
Well, that removes any shred of doubt. Andrea Hall was Jane Doe. Sounds like something about Pyre scared the shit out of her. Did that have something to do with her death?
Nope, natural causes as it turns out. Can't live without a spinal cord, Steve.
Hey, Rebecca?
NBD,
Yeah.
But your roommate definitely died in a fight.
I'm done here. Gonna head out. Thanks for the help.
No problem. Did you learn anything?
I did, but it's not looking good. Andrea was involved with some bad people. I think it's more than likely that she's Jane Doe. I'm sorry.
God damn it. I fucking knew it.
Can we have a quick chat about how this heavily encrypted computer basically had like 3 text files on it and they all just like incriminated her in crimes? It's like the equivalent of like, I mean, my computer, I have like 3 notepads open most of the time to help me track like different elements of stream production and like keep notes for things like the password encryption key or whatever. But they don't implicate me in crimes other than getting big mad about blueprints. She leaves Eileen's laptop. It's gonna make me really mad if we don't take that before we leave. It's a really obvious thing not to do, but it feels like that's being implied.
I need to process this. You'll talk to the cops, right? I can't deal with them right now.
One for work, one for crime, and one for work.
Of course. Take care of yourself, Rebecca.
Oh my god, pick
You
up the
too.
laptop. Pick up the laptop. Pick up the laptop. No, pick up the laptop. Pick it up. Pick it up. Sorry, I
This
got
laptop
distracted by
looked
the
like a charm.
ska skull.
Thanks.
Okay, good, we got it.
Glad to hear it. What'd you find out?
Too much to explain now. I'll fill you in tonight. I still need to go and track down Cooper.
Will Blockbuster and chill? Is that something? Did we do that in the 90s? Anyone ever Blockbuster and chill?
Okie dokie.
So I guess it's time to talk to Ranger Rick. Not this. Never this.
I should investigate.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. Okay. That's nearly had a stroke. Yep. I mean, I don't want to lose my beloved sacred laptop. Then she won't kiss me later. And I'm not weird about it, you are. Go to Cooper.
It says, this building is federally owned. I believe that's the standard for national parks. No state jurisdiction.
I could use another weapon.
What a monstrosity. I couldn't even hope to lift that thing.
But what if you put like a whole corpse in your inventory or something? I'm in danger.
Well,
you know what?
Fuck.
I should, that's on me. Should really have anticipated that.
This is not good. Need my pills. No.
I mean, we have scissors. We could like try to cut ourselves down. Grunge face. That ain't it. That's.
Do you see?
I wish I. Do I have to?
The iron. Those were the holy instruments of my rebirth.
I don't love this guy.
Wait, this is how Isaac Price died. That psycho priest in Conwell Springs.
I'm not sure the priest was a psycho.
Nearly there. Fight your ignorance, child.
No, it can't be. You can't actually be him.
No, this guy's Burgundy. Ron Burgundy.
I told you, there is no death, only change.
If we kill him enough times, does he become like a friendlier color?
Everything burned. The Crimson One slipped out of his suit and skittered away like a cockroach. With a heavy heart, I donned the mantle.
The fact that she
needs
this explained to her troubles me.
And now my form is his shelter.
Neat. Oh, look at that. So the his he's talking about. The capital H his. That's the
Easy.
Control guy. The guy who sounds like the pyramid in Control.
I don't want you to faint on me again.
That's Tom Wizard, isn't it?
It's you. Tom, was it?
Yes. My name is Tom Ward. But for the longest time, my name was taken from me.
That's some weird face stuff that I don't...
And in its place, you were only given a hue of red.
Wait. If
You're
we're
the
saying
Crimson
that...
One.
That doesn't really track for me. Why would the Crimson One... First off, not acting like the Crimson One. Second, wanting to work with us and like trying to give us information to stop Burgundy. Also, Burgundy himself just said that he's Crimson. Didn't he just say that like he became Burgundy?
Yes. When you burned the threshold, I was set free.
This is so... I can't explain to you. I'm not sure I'm smart or alert enough to explain to you why I feel like this is insanely stupid. This feels very, very incredibly dumb to me. This feels like this defies anything that had been established about how Crimson or the weird pit from the first game or the villain in this game or how anything works. This feels like we did the Five Nights at Freddy's thing. You're like, you thought that you understood it because it was internally consistent and it made sense. Nope, this friendly guy is the pseudo-villain from the first game, and I made another guy who's just like him, who said that he's the other guy, but he isn't, because instead he's just TV static in a vest.
I'm ashamed of my past, and I wish to make amends.
And, like, that doesn't seem inherently consistent with Mr. Crimson. Like, that just doesn't seem like what an entity like Mr. Crimson would say or do or think or feel.
That's so? Why should
Shall
I believe
we sculpt
anything
some
you say?
flesh friends, then?
You put me through hell in 1995.
Things were out of my control. You don't wear the suit wears you. You can stretch it, bend it, but if you go too far and rip the fabric, you rip yourself.
I see you haven't lost your penchant for nonsense
Is
metaphors.
it Kaniza?
At least you're not fucking rhyming again.
It does have a certain familiar quality that's like that guy. Kaniza, I think that's right.
He's talking way too long, and none of it sounds
There's
true
the
at all.
Kathy we all know and love. I was afraid
Sir?
I'd lost you there for a while.
I'm still me. Not that that got me anywhere. I'm broke and brain damaged. My friend was killed. And I'm chasing some of the most dangerous people on the planet.
Dangerous indeed. Which is why I will urge you to reconsider a cooperation.
Pronounced
We have a
cooperation?
common foe, and you will need allies.
It's pronounced allies.
For all I know, you're the same bastard you always were, and this is all some kind of double cross.
Shall we sculpt some flesh friends, then?
Am I having a stroke? Like, I feel like Kathy is taking this, like, way too normal. I feel like this is not a reasonable reaction to the information this guy is giving. Like, Mr. Crimson was like a supernatural force of evil. And, like, some librarian is just like, we should solve a mystery. And she's like, for all I know, you're just still supernatural demon and whatever. Like, don't we know he's a drug dealer? Well, no, because, okay, to make things even more confusing, we came to, like, Victor Cooper's cabin trying to find the drug dealer. But Victor Cooper is the allegedly bald man who's just shaved close to his head and definitely not bald. He's still Sir not appearing in this game. This guy just happened to show up when we waltzed into a trap outside Victor Cooper's place. This is the librarian. And apparently also Mr. Crimson. And Kathy doesn't seem to give two squats about that. I mean, as far as I know, Tom Ward is not synonymous with Victor Cooper. At this point, I'm not trying to put it past the game to just arbitrarily decide that that was true. But the impression the game has given me is that while en route to find Victor Cooper, this happened.
If it was, it would be quite an elaborate one. Weren't you completely helpless a few minutes ago?
I don't know, because I blacked out.
I guess so. I should say thanks for that.
You're welcome. I understand that all of this is a lot to take in, and in due time, I'll explain everything.
God, I hope his head explodes.
You better. I don't know what the hell is going on, and you're just giving me more questions.
Can you ask him where his flesh friends are? I mean, we never actually saw him sculpt them in the first game, so I'm not sure if he'll be able to answer
I realize that, but this is neither the time nor the place. When circumstances allow, I'll come find you again.
Just wait a minute.
Leah!
Oh, getting woozy again. All right, I think I'm okay now.
What a pointless interlude. Oh no, I'm having one of my episodes. The screen turns mostly but not entirely white. Nothing changes. I'm fine now.
Well, he's gone. Again. Guess there's nothing I can do but check out the cabin.
You mean the thing we were going to do?
Say what you will about Tom, but he did save my sorry butt.
Can't have that rope, huh?
The stash is on the smaller side, but I guess we're nearing summer now. They probably plan to refill it in the fall. A handheld lantern. Kerosene?
Locked, I presume?
Locked.
Hey, do me a favor, Cotillion. Try refreshing on your end. See if the sync is on Twitch side. Because, like, I haven't dropped any frames and I haven't had any processing spikes, which are usually the things responsible for changing sync on my end. Maybe the room's just full of flesh friends. Nah, it's like plants and junk.
Dishes and cutlery. Nothing interesting. I think that's a paraffin lamp. Probably a useful light source in here after dark. A case of something. Beer, maybe?
A dozen bottles of beer on the wall, a dozen bottles of beer.
Must have been used recently. This floor is spotless. Well, either that or Cooper doesn't spend much time here.
I mean, if he didn't spend very much time at all, then I would assume it would be dusty, right?
Probably for that high shelf with potted plants.
Check the plants themselves. Think it's on your end? No worries, just...
Huh?
I've come to understand the two simplest ways to solve this problem are first, make sure it's actually on my end, and then second, usually just reset OBS. Oh, that's the way I was supposed to notice the extremely obvious trapdoor. Okay, sure, I can work with that.
There was a hand-drawn map and also some kind of document in there.
Do you like how I didn't have to move to look at things across the room up until the point that the game needed me to step on the trapdoor, and then they're like, well, of course Kathy Rain is gonna have to step on it.
A gardening spray can for watering or applying pesticide.
That seems like the sort of thing I'd put in my purse.
A sack of potting soil. I don't need to mess with that. Military style. Maybe he used to be in the army or something. Decent-sized heater. This must eat quite a lot of firewood in the winter. I doubt this place is well insulated. Various books. Nothing looks out of the ordinary. Gas stove. Guess there's no electricity out here. He's got running water, though, at least.
That, I think, is all the things.
I should have a look at these things I found before I leave.
Oh, not taking them with me? It seemed safer to skedaddle and take them with me.
Whoa, this is an Ingstrom discharge form from last year.
So, Victor is the guy who's dating Rose, who died, which connects the things.
The name on here is Victor Kopernik, though, not Victor Cooper.
She is a terrible private detective. Also, technically, that says Victor.
Cooper, Kopernik? They're quite similar. Maybe he changed his name after they let him out?
Kathy, you're killing me. I mean, for one, I'm not entirely convinced that this is a necessary detail for the story, but for two, like, yeah, maybe. Have you ever heard of, like, Ellis Island and immigration and people changing their name and all these things?
The timeline fits perfectly with Rose's affair, too. This guy has got to be her secret lover.
Shouldn't we change? Yeah, okay.
I better head back to Ingstrom's tomorrow to follow up on all of this. It's too late to catch their visitation hours today. Looks like Cooper has drawn a map here. A path through some kind of tunnels.
You think the tunnels are connected by a secret passage?
There's no indication of where this is, though. Maybe if I had something to compare it with? Oof, long day. I better get back to the office and share all of these findings with Eileen.
Shouldn't I use the map on the map of the area from the ranger house? Evening
Kopernik,
5.
huh? I wonder why he changed his name.
He was discharged from a mental institution. Maybe he just wanted to throw a wrench in background checks?
But wouldn't he have to... I guess you could just lie, but like... Wouldn't that process normally be like a legal name change that I assume there's like some ability to track for like governmental background check purposes?
Yeah, I suppose that could be it.
And then they kiss.
What about this Tom guy then? Do you think we can trust him?
I don't know. I think so, but it's complicated. It has to do with everything we went through in 1995.
Oh, you know we never really talked about that. Over the years, I've started to remember things. Fragments. It wasn't just some nutty priest, was it?
But Eileen was never in the weird pit basement, right? What would she be remembering?
No, it was something much more sinister than that. And I think that these murders are somehow connected to it.
All the more reason to stop the Soothsayer then.
Agreed.
How did things go at KCU then? I never imagined you'd go back to school.
Waka waka.
Me either. Let me tell you what I found.
Poor Andrea. What a horrible way to go.
I know, horrible night to have a curse, right?
Indeed. Can't say I envy her. We shouldn't forget that she wasn't all that innocent, though. She was helping the pyre dealers and showing no remorse about it. On the contrary, she seemed excited as hell about it.
That's true, she was actually pretty enthusiastic, huh?
Until she wasn't, right? In the last
Shall we
note from
sculpt
her,
some flesh
it said
friends
she was
then?
scared out of her mind.
What's weird about that is, like, it seems like if we take at face value what's written there in the note, it seems like she went to the secret base, saw something horrific, ran home to write an incriminating note about it, saved it to her password encrypted computer, and then immediately went to get herself killed. It actually feels very Castle of like going out of her way to like leave something for us to find at a point in her life where that probably shouldn't have been possible.
Yes. Something about Pyre freaked her out, and from the look of things, that's what got her killed.
It's probably slurred.
Well, at least we know now they have a secret hideout in the mines.
Yeah. Narrowing down that location will be the final piece of the puzzle.
I'm pretty sure I used map on map, and then Bob is my uncle.
Anyway, how have things been progressing here? Any luck with the phone?
Any luck with the phone? What did we tell her to do? I don't remember.
Easy peasy. Cracked and ready. I had a peek in the contacts, and guess who I found in there?
Who?
Tabitha Caldwell, that florist lady.
Damn. So Faith Cyrene knew her.
Oh,
Tabitha's
I forgot.
involved then. She's gotta be.
I forgot before the murder incident that we, like, found an old-timey cell phone.
Yeah. At least her name was in Faith's contact list. Whatever that implies.
Roommates.
The implication is fishy as hell. Let's leave it at that.
Not how I'd like to
Anything
describe
else?
that.
Not that I could find, but you know this case better than me. Any ideas?
Well, there's this one thing. Rachel Wang mentioned this upsetting phone call.
Oh, right. Outside Eric's apartment, wasn't it? You even had the date and time.
Yeah. Here's the transcript.
January 14th, 4:15 p.m. Okay.
So?
Beep boop beep 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 boop beep beep beep.
Got it. Lasted a couple of minutes, apparently. The number is not in the contact list. 555-059-325.
Oh, fuck.
What?
I know that number. That's the Ingstrom Psychiatric Hospital.
Oh.
I thought it was the
That's
combination
easy.
to her luggage.
Probably just this Copernic guy, right? He was a known patient and in cahoots with Faith.
But would...
No, that's impossible. He was discharged last year.
Yeah, right? Rose was the one working there, so he would have been a patient. So, like, it doesn't make sense for that to be true. He shouldn't have access to a phone from there under normal circumstances, or so you would think.
And this was January. So someone else made that call.
Does it turn out that Kathy Rain's mom is, like, making pyre from her padded cell?
Well, I guess I have a plan for tomorrow then. Tabby's garden, then Ingstrom's.
Yes, I'll stay here and look into Copernic more, now that we have his original name.
Sounds good. You on the bed?
I mean, why not share?
Nah, couch is fine. Sleep tight.
Well, unfortunately, I think the cat called dibs on the couch, so realistically, the only thing... Can't have rolled cigarettes, pyre's the next best thing. I think that's the thinking, Neko. Fan service. Me when I wake up. Finished day 5. And right on time, sort of, kind
Rain
of.
again,
a little bit.
huh? Let's go see if E is up yet.
We did it. We did it. I got some mixed feelings. We had some real puzzles in there. The interface on them, as has historically been the case for Kathy Rain, was not 100% the best. I feel like both the pager puzzle and the hacking puzzle both had a really interesting core to them. But like there's just this element that like all of the Kathy Rain puzzles have that are so like strict and finicky and unintuitive. It's actually genuinely kind of surprising to me that they managed to develop like a series of puzzles between the two games that all have all of these elements seemingly intentionally, despite how rough they feel to play. But honestly, I think my biggest issue is Tom Ward being Mr. Crimson. Like, we might be able to finagle that, wrangle it into being something that doesn't feel like a complete contrived nonsense, but like, wow. It just doesn't seem consistent with like any of the lore that we'd built so far. Not that there had been like a tremendous amount of depth, but I guess that's part of why it seems so jarring by comparison of like, it felt like there were some facts that we understood to be true, and then the game's like, nah, none of what you could reasonably intuit from anything that's happened so far is real, idiot. But like more than anything, like we just haven't, like the first game left Mr. Crimson so like intentionally mysterious and vague that like it's hard to imagine him having like human motives or being like a human that was like corrupted into being the guy. Like we just didn't know enough about that process for that to be something that we as a player could potentially intuit. But I think even worse than that, even more than it seeming like it comes out of nowhere, which I think to some degree is probably avoidable if you had set up the story differently somewhere along the line of the two games, is just the fact that like Kathy Rain just like accepts that so easily. Like she wasn't like full-on Seto Kaiba naysayer about the existence of magic in the first game, but like she also was like far from like a believer, I would say. Like I don't think she like bought very readily into the seriousness of like the cult beliefs or anything in the first game. But then this guy, and it's not even just that he reveals himself as Mr. Crimson. She just like sees him standing there and she's like, even though like some mysterious vision just told me that like they were like Mr. Crimson by a different name, you're Mr. Crimson. And he's like, yep, you figured it out. But like I took off my suit and so now I'm a librarian. And she's like, that's cool and normal. And I'm like, no, objection. I have so many questions and we're just not going to get answers to basically any of those, I think. I don't know. Mixed feelings. Mr. Crimson related to Captain Scarlet. I mean, I think Mr. Crimson is the Crimson Chin's dad, if that helps, from the Fairly Odd Parents. The superhero who gained his powers by being bitten by a radioactive late-night TV host, a.k.a. Cartoon Jay Leno. An incredibly dumb concept that did lead to a recurring fictional character, which is a fictional character within a fictional world. Still one of the funniest origins. It's like just stupid enough. Like if you think about it at all, it clearly doesn't make any sense. But like when you just say it out loud, you get the point and it sounds really funny. It's really good. But contrary to something like the Mr. Crimson is Tom Ward reveal here, like it's kind of supposed to be stupid. That's the whole point. This game thinks it's taking itself seriously, and I'm no longer sure if that's happening. We're making good progress. I feel like the pace of the last like 2 in-game days has been a lot better. I didn't even feel like the puzzles dragged this one down that much. That has sometimes been the case in the past. But yeah, even the bits where I struggled weren't like too insufferable. With like some fairly reasonable amount of trial and error, we were able to get through those without even like directly consulting a walkthrough. But I do appreciate Cotillion in chat looking out for my sanity, being like, I'm pretty sure that the game like lied to you about how the password works, because I was also pretty sure of that. But like I've done so much complaining, and I just like, without being able to like scrub and go back, I was like, I'm just gonna let that one go. But like the thought had occurred to me. So we'll be back for day 6 of Kathy Rain 2 tomorrow night. So what does the month look like? Wibbly wobbly. So it is the Thanksgiving is like the 27th. Yeah. Yeah, okay. So that means that we should be able to finish Kathy Rain next Friday, probably. Unless like something about the last 2 chapters is like really long or something like that. Think about what to do with only one stream before Thanksgiving. We might improvise and do something silly or unusual to fill that slot. But after that, I have some ideas of what else to do before Christmas. So we'll get around to that. It'll just be a few weeks, and then in the new year, we'll take on a new task of some sort. But for now, we must complete the stream, and to do so, we must find Secret Squirtle. Somewhere in this room amongst the stuffed animals, I've hidden some number of secret Squirtles. If you are able to locate the Squirtles hidden this way, it will be an omen of good luck for you in the coming days. That may be tomorrow, that may be the next week, that may lead you all the way through the end of the month. Who knows? It's kind of, it's all very mysterious, much like the origins of Mr. Crimson, and yet somehow it's much less stupid. So yeah, take a look around, see if you can figure out where I've hidden some Squirtles, and then we will reveal the Squirtles. You think Tom Ward is maybe like lying to us about being Mr. Crimson, and it turns out that our mom is actually Mr. Crimson? Or maybe she's like Tom Burgundy or whatever? I will say this as a preface before the reveal. I think this is a difficult theme to guess. It doesn't mean that your guess of any particular friend is more or less likely, but trying to guess the theme, I think, will be somewhat difficult. Not impossible. Maybe the amount of impossible that the ability to intuit the hacking puzzle was. Let's take a look around. We'll start with Carlos, because we were asking about favorite stuffed animals. Yeah, the focus is, it's something. What of it? Not a Squirtle this time, but an aquatic friend with a quirky little hat. Then, under the suspiciously early Christmas tree, as Neko put it, there is, in fact, a Squirtle. Much as there is behind Teddy Ursa. And I will give you that Neko is about as close as I could reasonably expect anyone to guess for the theme. Yeah, basically stars and moons. I was thinking of it as night sky themed, but I didn't have quite enough moons or stars, so I sort of merged them together. It sort of stemmed from, I kind of just wanted to put Pink Crab Kaylee out there again, and I wanted to find a way to make her like starfish mark sort of relevant to the theme, and so I looked around and worked with the suns and the moons. So there's one behind Mooncat, one behind our starry wizard hat spider friend, and yeah, Umbreon is up there as well. And not one behind my adorable little teddy bear friend, but he had a little tiny star to point the way. That'll do it for tonight's stream. Like I said, we'll be back with more Kathy Rain 2 tomorrow. Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being you. And I hope to see you again soon. Whether that's tomorrow, next week, or sometime in the future. In the meantime, take care of yourselves and remember that you are Clossum.